On a bounce, it comes to Kerry Goose. Kerry across the 20 out to the 26. Where Thomas Henley, number 82, made the stop. So the Broncos will have it 1st and 10. They'll mark it out at about the 28. Elway at quarterback, Sewell and Winder. Bobby Humphrey, their number 1 supplemental pick, not in camp yet. Vance Johnson, Mark Jackson, Clarence Kay will be his receivers. Broncos receivers are banged up. The offensive line, Keith Karts in for the injured Billy Bryan. If Billy is watching, we wish him our best. That goes for Tony Dorsett as well. Doug Wydell, the rookie second rounder from Boston College, starts at right guard. Kenny Lanier at tackle. Elway will throw for the first time in 89. He's hit, and down he goes. Kevin Green, number 91. With the from the shotgun. Here's the handoff to Sewell. Gets a block. Knocked out the 23. 15. Ball inside the 23. Ricky Nattil is in. 3 wide receivers in. Elway. Here comes the rush. And John is down. Sean Miller, the nose tackle, the 6-year man from Utah State, makes the tackle, and the Broncos go deep. Thomas Henley, number 82, back on his 42-yard line for the Rams. Henley calls for the fair catch, and he makes it at the Ram 40. Is injured. Veteran offensive line Warren Wheat and Tony Slayton, the young players, filling in for an injured Tom Newberry, and a holdout Duval Lowe. Everett wants to throw on 1st down. He goes over the middle. It's complete to Ellard inside the 35, where Braxton Harden combined to make the tackle, but a 1st down for the Rams. Henry Ellard coming off a spectacular season for the Broncos 34. Here's the handoff to Green to the 31. Dennison got a hand on him. Pick up a 3, 2nd down and 7. Mecklenburg was there as well. A brand new defense for the Broncos under new defensive coordinator Wade Phillips. Up front, Alfonso Carricker, a Plan B free agent. Cragen and Townsend, 2 holdovers. Brooks is now a starter. Dennison and Mecklenburg inside. Simon Fletcher, who the Broncos think may be headed to a Pro Bowl season. Tyrone Braxton in for the injured Mark Haynes. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. Lyman Henderson, the right corner. 2 experienced smart safeties, Dennis Smith and Mike Harden. Here's Green again. He's got a hole. Inside the 25 to the 24, Mecklenburg, Harden, and Dennison forever. The Bronco 24. Plenty of time. It's complete to McGee. Harden runs him out at the 5-yard line. Another Rams 1st down. A 19 back instead of the Dickerson Bell workhorse type. And so far it's worked for him here very early. Here's the handoff to Green. He's inside the 5. Down to about the 3 where Mike. 2nd and goal from the 3. Green, big hole, down to the 1. Dennison made the tackle. Green, 3rd and goal from the 1. Robert Del Pino in the game. He's got the football. He's right down near the goal line, and he didn't make it. Del Pino, the 2nd-year man from the McGee of the back. Del Pino again. No, he didn't get it. Tim Lucas, Scott Curtis, all were in there.
Well, Del Pino never had a chance to get in the air. He's trying to jump right there, and actually the offensive line is pushed back so far. As you see Scott Curtis with great penetration, Del Pino could not get in the air, and an excellent job up front by Denver.
Scott Curtis, another Plan B free agent, played his rookie year in Philadelphia. Came over with Wade Phillips, and he's trying to make his mark.
I think Wade Phillips would prefer to.
And Winder behind John Elway. Orson Mobley in motion. Winder hit immediately by Vince.
1-yard line.
Pick up a 2 and 2nd down and 8. Jackson and Johnson. Sammy turns the corner across the 20 out near the 30. Keith Bishop and Jim Jerigo open the hole for Sammy Winder. The handoff to Stewart. Makes one move, but then he's hit and brought down by Jerry Gray, the left corner. Away in the second series. This may be the only series, the second series, only one we see from Elway tonight. He's back. And it's incomplete. It looked like he and Clarence Kay were not on the same page then. And good look at Elway. Steve Watson is in the ball game for the first time. Elway with time. He's looking Watson's way. He's going to run, and he's going to be far short. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Kevin Green. Penalty number 82 is deep. Disdains the fair catch, and he's nailed by Kevin Guidry back at the Ram 21-yard line. Kevin Guidry, Everett to throw on first down. He's got Ellard again, across the 30 to the 32. Mecklenburg makes the tackle. That'll be a pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Everett coming off a terrific year. He set 5 team records for the Rams, including pass where that open spot is. Loves to go against the Broncos, too. More on that in a minute as Gaston Green will be very close to a first down. Dennison and Mecklenburg were there. Last year against the Broncos, Braxton and Henderson come out. More interior line depth for the Broncos. Green may not have it. I doubt he got back to the...
Knows about him. Heavy hitter from the inside, about 230 pounds.
Ken Bell is deep, back at his own 20. Dale Hatcher is injured much of last year, will punt. Good kick, turned it over. Bell inside his 20. Off the 25 to about the 27, where
next week in San Francisco, he'll do the same for Ken Karcher.
Well, Clarence Kay jumped right away. The handoff to Sewell. He's hit and thrown for a loss. Sewell and Winder now split behind Kubiak. Jackson in motion. Kubiak. Over the 30 to the 32. It'll be about 5 receivers set. Winder's the running back. The Rams appear to be offside. The free play. And Kubiak has James Johnson out across the 4. Opened up yesterday, but fancy gamer. Here it is. He's not missing his turn. 1st and 10 from the 47. 2:50 to go in the first quarter. Winder, the lone running back, with the football, and got a yard at the most. Looking at Teal in the game. Here's the handoff to Winder. His flags go down, standing around the corner into Ram territory at the Ram 43. They're in the training camp there, if I'm not mistaken. Denver has it at the Ram 42. That's their deepest penetration so far. This is their 3rd series of the night. Fake pitch. Kubiak rolls right. He's got Kelly. Clarence has room inside the 25. Make it Mobley. Orson Mobley. He's down to the 20 where Vince Newsom be traded, but that's all been put behind him now. He's happy. Here's Stewart. Inside the 20 to about the 18. McCullough and Bucks a little later tonight. This will be the last play if they get it off in the first quarter. Mobley in motion. It's a little pitch to Mark Jackson. He's another one. They're running by Jackson as he's down to the 12-yard line. Teal is in motion. There he is, wide open. And out of bounds inside the 3. The first down. Vince Newsom ran him out.
2 good things in this play. First, Gary Kubiak realizes.
Alexander stays in there. Sammy Winder now the other running back. They split behind Kubiak. Here's Alexander. Touchdown.
Just an excellent block by the left side, and How many years have Bronco fans wanted a big back?
Well, Jeff Alexander, 6 feet, 232 pounds. David Treadwell, number 18, is on for the conversion. Ken Karcher will hold. Rich Carlos, as you know by now, is a holdout. Probably watching tonight on TV. Conversion is up and good. 14-40.
The offensive line, the left side, Keith Bishop and Jim Juriga. You can see them turning their man. Also, Orson Mobley with a good block out. And Jeff Alexander gets into the end zone for his first NFL touchdown. Got to keep that ball, Jeff.
10 plays, 71 yards, fine drive. Took almost 5 minutes. Jeff made a big deep for the Rams. Galvin 32, Henley 82. This is Henley. Still in there as Everett will throw on first down and dumps it off incomplete to McGee. Greg Pragan, Michael Bazan. Where do you fit him in? With the throw again. Incomplete. 20, I think, playing football. And he's back. It's 3rd and 10. Everett again, right over the middle, incomplete. He's looking for number 82, Thomas Henley. That went off the side of his foot. Flag is down back at the 22. It gets a good bounce. 1st and 10 from the 36. Watson wide to the top of your screen. Alexander tried to bounce off the tackle and couldn't. Ken Bell now in, along with Alexander. Here comes the rush. Down goes Kubiak. Frank Stamms, number 50. Their 2nd-round pick, the rookie from Notre Dame. They do it as well as the Rams have done it here in the first quarter. 3rd and 19 from the 27. Kubiak rolling to his left, buying a little time. Fires downfield looking for Natil, but it's incomplete. Natil was hit.
There goes my idea for the hidden ball trick at 9:15.
Horan to punt. Henley is deep. Another good punt by Horan. Henley calls for the fair catch. Back at his own 25.
Think you remember Guidry that last time?
1st and 10 for the Rams. They have it at their own 26. Broncos out in front, 7-0. Robert Del Pino with a football. It's a block from McGee. He's out close to the saw him doing CU games. You saw him last year in the preseason. Impressive kid. Here he is again. Runs hard. Across the 30, out near the 35. 3rd and 1 from the 35. It's Del Pino again. He's got a first down.
Passing game afterwards.
Play action on first down. Everett with plenty of time going right over the middle. It's complete to Ellard at the Bronco 40. Steve Atwater made the tackle. Another. 1st and 10 for the Rams from the 40. Anderson in motion. McGee up the middle. Crosses the 40 to the 39 where Warren Powers. 2nd and 9. Everett, quick pass to McGee. Has it to 35. He beats Jackson. Inside the 30 down to the 28. That should be. Ball's inside the 30. Del Pino. Nice hole, Del Pino. Down to the 23 where Randy Robbins, an 8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2. Del Pino again. He's got a nice hole. Atwater with a nice hit at the 18. Flag is down. The Bronco 31. Everett with plenty of time. Looking for Ellard, but Everett goes right over the middle, and it's complete inside the 15 for a first down to who else? Henry Ellard. His 4th touchdown. 1st and 10 now. There's the handoff to Green. Down to about the 12 where Mark Munford all the way. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. 1st and 20. Swings it out to Del Pino. Tim Lucas stops Del Pino in his tracks at the Bronco 24. 7. Everett 38-yard attempt by Lansford. He had 3 last week. Pete Holohan, the injured tight end, will hold. It is up, and it is good. From 38 yards out. Line drive kick that it'll come to Good. Gets outside. Out to the 20. Denver out in front, 7-3. Alexander goes outside with room across the 30 out to the 32. Play action. Kubiak slips, gets up, hits Mateo across midfield. Mateo breaks the tackle, and he's inside the 45 to the Rams 43. On the field stats of a year ago. He's wide, top of your screen. Alexander behind Kubiak. The ball's on the Rams 43, and Alexander thrown for a loss by number 95, Mike Peel.
But never doubt.
No, I agree. Hard worker, puts his mind to it. It looked like Peel may have jumped off sides as Kubiak steps up, throws, and hits Peel again. Mobley in motion. Alexander, he's got the first down, running hard. Inside the 25 to the 23. Broncos out in front, 7-3. A little more than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Alexander again. Not much room that time. Alexander with room again. Just down to about the 7. Winder the running back. It's 3rd and 4. There's a double pass to Winder, and it was snuffed out immediately by Mike Wilcher. The line of scrimmage, the 24, will be a 34-yard attempt. Karcher with a hold. And it's good. A 34-yard field goal by David Treadwell.
This is a quality kicker. I'd like to see him come to camp one way or the other just to compete with both David Treadwell and that man, Raphael Septien.
There is Septien. He will kick off. 10-year veteran. Of course, he's been out of the league the past couple of years. I have a feeling that Rich Carlos, within the next couple of weeks, will work something out with the Broncos, be in camp by the 3rd exhibition game, go from there. You're leaving me there with that one. Do you disagree with me?
I'm not so sure. I'd like to be optimistic, but I'm not so certain that'll happen.
Septien puts the foot into it. Got it to the goal line. Henley barely made it back to the 20. I don't think they're that far apart. 22 seconds to go. Everett, he's gone the whole half. Goes over the middle to Ron Brown. Trying to stop it. This will be the final play of the half. Everett has a scary play because Jim Ryan almost got a hand on that ball. And it would have been 6 because there was nobody in front of him. So we played a half. And the Broncos are out in front, 10-3. 14 third quarter. Will Hyde, they thought was a 4-week injury, Dave, and by Thursday he was back about 2 weeks later on the field. I'm sure he'll play next week in San Francisco.
I tell you, he's been hurt many times, but you can't question his toughness.
The Frank kicks off. Henley with it. Thomas Henley. Out just across the 20. Kip Corrington, number 26, hit him first.
And a left-hander that can really throw the football. And
Mel Farr is in the backfield along with Gaston Green. Green's got it and fumbles it. I think the Broncos have it. Rick Dennison on top of it. Denver's got it at the Ram 24, the first turnover of the ball game.
One of the things the defense didn't get accomplished last year was creating a turnover. They only had 13 fumble recoveries the entire year. This one that caused by the defense. It never looked like Green had the football going into the line. Good job by Dennison getting on it. That's something, if you're going to be a good defense and you're going to be a good team, you've got to have a certain amount of turnovers. Denver last year didn't have a very good turnover ratio. Matter of fact, -5. The only clubs worse than the AFC, Pittsburgh and San Diego.
1st and 10 from the 25. Sewell goes right up the middle, pushes the... Johnson and Young are the receivers. Mobley in motion. And off to Alexander. Inside the 20, about to the 18. Michael Young in motion, the former Ram. Played there for 3 years, signed as a Plan B free agent. Kubiak. Touchdown, Pat Kelly.
Kind of nice to have a chance to catch one like that, because most catches in this league are contested.
Moran will hold for Septian. There is a smattering of boos as Septian is on the field. They'll spot it at the 15, so the extra point will be a little bit longer. And it's up and good. So the boos turn the cheers here with 13-19 to go in the third quarter. Denver now out in front, 17-3. Alvin. Broncos now with their biggest lead of the night, 2 touchdowns. This is Henley again. Henley out to about the 23. Jeff Carlson, the quarterback, big lefty from Weber State. On first down. It's incomplete. He was looking for Willie Anderson. Handoff to Gap. It's 3rd and 8. Carlson with time, throws, and he completes it. Here from Weber State. Of course, Braxton, mostly a special teams player early in his career. Now with Mark Haynes out 3 to 4 weeks with that problem in his lower back, Braxton is getting a major opportunity. Here's the pitch to Del Pino. Broncos with that first team defense on the field to start the third quarter. Carlson going right over the middle, incomplete. Mike Harden. Nice play, got a hand on it. Knocked it away. Harden in his 10th year. Moving Harden to the corner.
Well, it depends on how the other corners do, I think. I would like to see the best 4 players in the field no matter where they put them.
I agree. Del Pino on 3rd down. He won't go anywhere. The Rams will have to punt. Gary Lee, who came over about 4 days ago from the Detroit Lions with all the injuries at the wide receiver spot, looked pretty good in a couple of practices. He's back at his 25. Hatcher will punt. From his 24, Lee to a Sewell and Bell. Kubiak with plenty of time. Knocked down and incomplete. Ball's on the 29. Kubiak now telling Good where to line up. Alexander up the middle across the 30 to the wide to the top of your screen. Mobley in motion. Sewell's in the slot. Kubiak had plenty of time, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Watson. He was covered by Clifford Hicks. Young in motion. Kelly. Looking for Kelly. It's incomplete. Nearly intercepted. 8:55 to go in the third quarter. Denver out in front, 17-3. Henley loses the football, but gets on it right at the 22. 1st and 10. Gaston Green with a hole. Atwater closes it quickly, and a flag goes down. We might have a face mask.
You know, that's all right.
Atwater and Kip Corrington, the safeties for the Broncos. Play action. Carlson. He was looking. We'll get into that later. I was thinking of the Atwater hit. We'll get into that later. Barr. And Richard McCullough, the rookie. Carlson on 3rd down, throws, and it's incomplete. Daniel Hunter and Randy Robbins practically took it away from Thomas. I'm going to bring it up to you. Dale Hatcher. Gary Lee calling for the fair catch. Ooh. And with he scared a lot of people, but he knew are the running backs. Here's Alexander. Nowhere to go, and he is thrown for the loss.
And they are extremely aggressive up front.
Young and Johnson are wide to the left. Bottom of your screen is Kubiak on 2nd and 12. Looking for Young. He's got it. At the Bronco 44. It'll be a couple yards short of a 3rd and 2. Alexander has it. Across the 45 to the 46 at the street. Here's the pitch to Alexander. 10. Kubiak to throw with time. Young again, but he's far out of bounds. Is wide to the right. Sewell and Mobley are in the slots from the shotgun. Kubiak with time. Wanted Gary Lee, but it was incomplete. Look out. Horan is tackled by Clifford Hicks back at the 20. So the Rams. Motion. Handoff to Del Pino. Randy Thornton wraps him up at about the line. Brown in motion again. Carlson. Incomplete. Randy Thornton almost picked it up, but a flag is down. Right where Thornton. Del Pino has it. Boy, he stood up by Warren Powers immediately. He got maybe a yard. Big hit.
Well, we told you about how excitable these young guys are. Warren Powers at 6'6" and about 288 is going to be a load for any running back that he gets in the hole. That's that right there. He's about 12 pounds heavier than that. He's gained some weight in camp, believe it or not. You get a good look at him right there. I mean, he could add 10 pounds in a couple of years and be close to 300 pounds.
It's a pleasant thought for a team that has always been undersized. 2nd and 8. They gave it 2. Brown in motion. Carlson throws it incomplete. And Brown are wide to the right. Farr and Del Pino behind Carlson.
Here they come.
Carlson incomplete. Was looking for the tight end Knutson. There's the late flag. Brown in motion. This is Del Pino. Scoots inside to about the 8. Freddie Gilbert tripped him up. Pickup of 2. Carlson, what a hit by Atwater on Knutson, the tight end at the goal. Carlson throws into the end zone, incomplete. Kip Corrington knocked it away from Knutson. Nevada Reno will try the field goal. They'll spot it at the 15. From 25 yards out, the kick is up and good. So the comes down to Kerry Good at his own 13. Good to the 25. Tom Kallmeyer, safety, made the first hit.
That's not going to cut it. You've got to be up over 4, be able to control the football game when you have to.
Here's Alexander behind Wydell on 1st down. Nice open field tackle by 1st and 20 from the Broncos 16. Kubiak over the middle. He's got Kerry Good. Mark Meisner has him wrapped up at the Alexander and Good, the running backs. Kubiak got Mobley. Orson turns it upfield. He's out to the 40. 39, the rookie from Florida in the ball game. Here's Williams with a football. He's hit by Messner and brought down immediately. The draw to Alexander. Cross midfield into Ram territory. There. Here's Williams. Ran hard down to the 45. Williams is lined up as a wide receiver. Kubiak looks for him. Now he looks the other way. Throws to a wide open Anthony Stafford. Stafford down to the 30. Loses the football. James Washington picks it up for the Rams, and they've got the football. And that's exactly what you can't do as a rookie.
Well said. Anthony Stafford, who has terrific speed, was a running back in Oakland.
The last couple of years is Del Pino. Runs hard across the 35 out to the 30. Quarterback. Here's the reverse to Ron Brown. He's got some room. Finally ridden down by Scott Curtis. But he's good to see Mark Herman in the ball game. Back to pass. Mark looking for Anderson. Got it. And drops it. Well, One referee says incomplete. The other one says Denver football.
Well, do you want to bet that we'll look at this one again?
Oh, you got to look at this one. He had it looked like to me, and dropped it, but one referee immediately signaled incomplete.
Well, Flipper Anderson and Corus Irvin. Anderson has great speed. This is a terrific play from the inside, as you will see. The contact, and I believe it's Kevin Guidry who comes over and jars the football loose. From that angle, doesn't look like Anderson has it. I guess we are not going to see it. Let's see if we can see from this angle if Anderson comes down with the football. Anderson, Irvin has an outside bead.
On a slow motion, it's tough to tell because it's tough to tell how long he had it.
I'll tell you what, fellas, if that's a regular season game,
that's a replay.
That baby has to get looked at. But that's fine with us.
Yeah, that's fine. 1st and 10 from the 14 as we move along in the 4th quarter. Reggie Williams and Ware behind Gary Kubiak. Here's Ware again. Kubiak is in the shotgun. Lee and Watson are the wide receivers. Flags down everywhere. Here comes the rush, and down goes Kubiak in motion. Flags again. Kubiak may have him offsides again. The throw is to Sewell. Anthony Sargent, the rookie from Wyoming, is deep. Another high snap. He gets it off. Sargent from the 37. Hunter misses it. Sargent runs out and saves his life at the 28 in the game with Robbins, Corus Irvin, and Daniel Hunter. That's your Bronco defense. Herman to Del Pino. Del Pino now with the Rams. Backed up Everett last year. Del Pino hit and thrown for a loss. By number 96, Richard
Side stuffs the lead blocker. And McCullough loops to the outside and awaits Del Pino.
3rd and 7. Ball on the 49. McCullough now out of the game as Broncos bring in a whole new troop of defensive players. Many of them first stringers. Herman is back with time over the middle, incomplete.
Does anything differently the entire preseason.
Okay. After the punt. And it's into the end zone. Les and Williams remain the running backs behind Kubiak. They weren't here long enough to get it that many times.
Oh, yes, I was.
Well, maybe you were in your case. Here's Williams on 1st and 15. He's got a couple in 15. He's got a couple. He had it in Lee's hands, and Lee dropped it. The Rams had a workout tonight. Sargent will call for the fair catch. Almost got nailed by his own man, but he makes the Herman. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Herman swings it out to Del Pino. He gets by Lucas. Makes a nice little run.
The opposite direction the past few years.
Herman to throw on 1st down. Here comes the rush. Just does get it off to Del Pino. He's hit and down at the 40 by Thornton. Del Pino. Here's Richard Calvin. Munford makes the stop on him at the 39. Good hit by Munford. Herman on 3rd and 2. Got a 1st down to Knutson. Corrington missed him, but Munford managed to throw. Herman gets it off. It's complete to Knutson again. Munford makes the stop. The ball's loose. Looks like Denver may have it. They do.
Well, it's not going to matter because you're going to have roughing the passer.
Yep.
And as here goes Herman. Lucas was very late in that effort. And that's frustration. He was held the play before, had a chance to make a sack, was grabbed and slung down.
Brown and Anderson, the wide receivers, as they have been throughout most of the second half. Herman, the quick pitch incomplete. He was looking for Buford McGee. It's no fun. Or when you come back home after a road game and they bust you. Here's Herman. Here comes the pressure. He beats McCullough. Dumps it out to McGee. McGee breaks one tackle. Corus Irvin got him at the 15. Takes away from their mobility.
Of course, on the other hand, if you get your quarterbacks hurt,
that's true.
Nobody wants to watch the game.
That's true. Herman's incomplete. 4th and 6. Herman beats the rush, throws into the end zone, touchdown. Wide open with House on for the conversion. He's got it, and the Rams have cut the lead to 7. And here comes the onside kick, a line drive that was about 30 yards foul. There's the line drive. Ooh, right through Carrington's hands.
It's a guy because of what's happened in the past with the Chicago 11, as they're now known.
Alexander went up the middle. He almost broke it. Got to the 45. That no matter what, he wasn't going to put the ball on the ground. Here he is again. He gets outside. Well, he runs hard. He's across. Should be the last play of the ball game. Gary Kubiak will just kneel down. So the Broncos go to 1-0 on the preseason with a 17-13 victory over the 49ers. We'll return to Mile High Stadium in just a minute. Bobby Humphrey, number 41, and Ken Bell, number 35, are deep for Denver. We're about to get underway on just a perfect night for football here in Denver. Ruzek puts the foot into it. It comes down to Bell at his 2. Ken across the 20, out to the 22, where Darrell Johnston, number 48, second-round draft pick out of Syracuse, made the tackle, and that's where the Broncos will begin. 1st and 10. On their 23. Elway, the quarterback. Sewell and Alexander will start. Wander, they know what he can do. He's been given the night off. Will Height, Bratton, and Humphrey will play a lot. Vance Johnson and Michael Young. Ricky Nattiel been given the week off in Greeley with tendonitis. Orson Mobley for the injured Clarence Kay. Perry, Bishop, Karts, Lanier, and Juriga up front. As we get a good look at Elway on 1st and 10. Hand off to Sewell. Steve is outside. He's across the 30 all the way to the 33 before Bill Bates made the tackle. He'll be close to a first down. Defensively for the Cowboys, 38-year-old Too Tall Jones in his 15th year. Nobody has ever played longer for the Cowboys than Ed Too Tall Jones. Willie Broughton is in for the injured Mark Whalen, a knee injury, is sidelined Whalen for the year. Noonan and Jeff Cote up front. The backers, Burton, Lockhart, and Ken Norton. That's the son of the former heavyweight champion of the world. The defensive secondary, Everson Walls, Robert Williams, Ray Horton, a Plan B free agent, had 6 good years with Cincinnati in the backfield, along with Robert Williams. And it is a Denver first down.
Pretty good action on the first down call, the delayed draw. Steve Sewell doing a good job of breaking it outside and yet knowing when to turn up and get positive yardage. Sewell really has not had a lot of extensive playing actions. We mentioned the Rams game, but they are still trying to find out if Steve Sewell can be that everyday halfback.
There's the handoff again on the delay. Bates and Lockhart making the stop on Jeff Alexander after a gain of 2. John Elway apparently with knee brace tonight.
Everybody in Denver happy to hear that.
I bet you there are at least 3 or 4 knee braces in that Bronco locker room right now.
I'll tell you this, I'll bet there'll be 3 or 4 knee braces in the Bronco locker room in the regular season. He may assign somebody just to carry the knee brace.
I think that will be the last time Elway in his long and illustrious career will ever miss a game because the knee brace is not around. 2nd and 8 from the 35. I think the Broncos made a wise decision. No reason to gamble in a preseason game. That is Vance Johnson in motion. Elway to throw for the first time tonight. He's got Vance at the 40. He's run out by Ray Horton, the free safety. Pick up a 5. It'll be 3rd and 3. Vance had a pretty good preseason.
You see now in the first 3 plays with Johnson in motion, everything is getting off quick. Elway with a 3-step drop gets rid of the football. The first 2 plays, draw plays. You want to make sure you take that pressure off the offensive line early. A good job by Vance hanging on.
Johnson's 4th catch of the preseason. His first 3 had accumulated 28 yards. Young is wide to the right. Steve Watson's in the ball game. He's in the slot with Vance Johnson and Steve Sewell. Gerald Wilhite in the game on 3rd and 2. From the shotgun. Flags are down. Elway with time. Throws complete. to
He can draw people off sides with that hesitated snap count. He almost got, as you mentioned, he almost got Gerald Perry, who did rock back a little early, but he went undetected.
Perry, of course, starting at left tackle, Juriga at right guard. That move was made after the first preseason game. Here's the handoff to Alexander into Dallas territory at the 49. Ken Norton, number 51, made the first hit. Norton, 6'2", 236 pounds, second year from UCLA. You'd have to figure with your father, the heavyweight champion of the world, you got to be a pretty tough kid.
I think that's fair to say. You'll see the trap play with Keith Bishop leading the way. Alexander dipping up inside. Cowboys really have changed everything, as we've mentioned. They got away from the flex defense. They're going to be much more aggressive up front defensively. Jimmy Johnson said 20% of the time last year they rushed the passer without reading something first. He said this year it'll be closer to 60% of the time.
Second down and 6. The ball's on the Dallas 48. Elway going long over the middle for Johnson, and it's incomplete. Robert Williams was on the coverage. Well, this Cowboy team is so brand new. Do you ever remember an owner and a coach coming into the NFL with more fanfare than Johnson and Jones?
I really don't. As you see, Jimmy Johnson. Of course, Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones were teammates at Arkansas back in 1964, along with Ken Hatfield, who's now is the Arkansas coach, formerly the Air Force coach. They were 11-0. They beat Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl. And I was trying to go back through my yearbook and find out which one of my teammates is going to be able to buy a team. I'm going to stay in touch with them.
you may have a long way. It's 3rd and 6. Flag in the 47. Watson and Sewell are wide to the right. Young and Johnson to the left. Will Height the back in the shotgun. Elway with time. Incomplete. I believe he was looking for Watson. Bates and Francis were in the area, and the Broncos will have to punt.
Double coverage on both sides, and had John been able to wait just a little bit longer, Steve Watson had made an excellent move. A little dip to the outside and had broken free underneath.
There's Mike Horan, Pro Bowl punter from a year ago. As you see what he's done in this preseason, his job secure, even though there is another punter, Matt DeFrank, on the roster. Kelvin Martin is deep. Martin, a starting wide receiver. Martin calls for the fair catch, lets it bounce to the 9, and Kevin Guidry nearly saved it from going into the end zone, but it is a touchback. 53-yard punt from Horan. You would have much rather had a 50-yard punt. A little more than 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. When we come back, Dallas and Troy Aikman will have it for the first time. 20, Aikman the quarterback. Herschel Walker will start as the lone running back. They've got 2 tight ends, Steve Folsom and number 84, Keith Jennings, in there. Kelvin Martin and Michael Irvin are the wide receivers. The veteran offensive line, Mark Tuinay, Nate Newton, the kitchen, Tom Rafferty, the veteran center, Crawford Kerr. Kevin Gogan does not start. Dave Wydell, second-year man from Boston College, starts. He's the brother of the Broncos rookie pick, Doug Wydell. Aikman to throw for the first time tonight. He's got Folsom at the 25. Flag is down. Back at the 16, Greg Cragen made the tackle.
Have to be impressed with physically his ability to get the ball gone quickly. He's got a tremendously quick release.
A lot of people say that he reminds them of Elway. Physically, 6'3", 220, quick release, strong arm, even facially looks a little bit like John. He's got a 1st and 15. He hands it off to Walker. Not much room for Herschel as he was stopped up the middle. Mark Munford, Cragen, Mecklenburg all getting up off the pile.
You know, and even if you're not a great pro football fan, something that strikes you immediately about the new look Cowboys, the offensive linemen don't have to bounce up in an erect position to bounce back down.
It's almost like not watching the Cowboys. Carricker, Cragen, and Townsend up front for the Broncos. Of course, the backers the same the last 2 weeks. Mecklenburg and Munford. Dennison out with that strained calf. Fletcher and Brooks. The outside linebackers is Aikman going long. Incomplete. Looking for Michael Irvin, and Tyrone Braxton was with Irvin step for step.
Well, a good job of coverage by Braxton. And you'll see the ball perfectly thrown by Aikman. Great pass protection. Michael Irvin doesn't have great speed, but he's always had the ability to come up with the acrobatic catch and almost makes a terrific catch. Good job by Tyrone Braxton fighting for the football as both guys went for it.
Broncos, Dave, in the nickel. Atwater 27, Guidry 37. Darren Carrington, fine young rookie cornerback, have all checked in. Warren Powers as well. Mecklenburg, Powers, Townsend, and Fletcher, the down linemen here on 3rd and 13. Aikman rolling left. Pressured by Townsend. He completes it out to the 30. It'll be close to a first down. Kelvin Martin made the catch. Atwater made the tackle.
You know, you talked to Jimmy Johnson about his receivers. Michael Irvin, a first-round draft pick last year, but the guy that he talks about is Kelvin Martin, fourth-round pick out of Boston College, has did a great job at that time of coming back and presenting a target to Troy Aikman.
And he's got a first down at the 31. Martin, 2 catches so far in the preseason, 49 catches last year for 13 yards a catch and 3 touchdowns. You know, you make a great point. It's almost not like watching the Cowboys when they're not, the offensive line not raising up.
They used to raise up, at least they say in Dallas, so you couldn't see where the backs were going to shift. They did it for some 30 years.
Roderick Sargent in the game. He broke a couple of tackles. Mike Harden finally stops him for good. Braxton was over there, had him wrapped up quickly, but he broke the tackle.
Johnson inherits a team that last year scored 10 points or less 5 times.
Have you seen those shots in practice from Thousand Oaks, California, of Johnson running around on the practice field?
Oh, he's an enthusiastic guy. This is a perfect situation for Jimmy Johnson. He inherits a team, as we mentioned, that won 3 games last year. He's got a superstar in Herschel Walker. He's got the first pick of the draft in Troy Aikman. I think they've got the possibility of winning 6 or 7 games next year, and that would be a tremendous turnaround in Dallas.
2nd down and 6. The ball is on the 35. Walker across the 35, but little more. Michael Brooks hit him first and then got a lot of help. Cragen was there. Give him maybe a yard, make it 3rd and 5.
Walker's the kind of guy that really gets you juiced up to play defensively. Broncos didn't do a good job up front last week in San Francisco. And you're looking at a tailback that last year had over 1,500 yards rushing, 2,000 yards total. Very, very tough to tackle. You've got to make sure you get a lot of people around him. And the first one simply has to hold on and wait for help.
Alfonso Carricker was in on that stop as well, as we saw in the replay. It's 3rd and 5. The ball's on the 36. Martin in motion. Aikman from the shotgun. Here comes the rush. He's got Cornell Burbage down to the 41. And again, that'll be close to a first down. Cornell Burbage, 3rd-year man from Kentucky, Kevin Guidry, made the stop, and it'll be short. So the Cowboys will have to kick it away after 1 first down.
Pretty good job defensively of putting a little pressure on Aikman, forcing him to sidestep to his right. You're going to have to make him move around. He's not a guy that you can allow to stand in the pocket, even in his first year. He's got great vision and certainly a quick release.
There's Ken Bell, who's now been apparently shifted full-time to wide receiver. He awaits the punter, Mike Saxon, the veteran. Nice punt. Bell should let it go. He doesn't. He fields it on the 5. And he's down just short of the 15. Johnston down there again, along with Ron Burton after a 54-yard punt.
Maybe he should have listened to you.
I'm a fan of Ken Bell's. If he thought he could run it out, I'm sure he could. There's a flag on the fleet. Ken will listen. Just kidding, Ken. I'll tell you, Tim Lucas put some pressure on the punt. Bell makes the catch at the 12. Across the 20. There's a hole for Ken Bell. He's across the 30 to the 35. Saxon was in on the tackle. And Ken Bell made a nice play. 53-yard punt, but a fine return by Ken Bell. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. We are scoreless.
Like this that will stand out in Dan Reeves' mind when he has to make very tough decisions as to who makes the team. Kenny Bell has been moved to wide receiver. He's an excellent special teams performer, has been for the past 3 years.
Kept him on the team, his ability to play special teams. Good look at number 7. 1st and 10 from the 35. On the delay, this is Steve Sewell. He's got a pickup of 6. Ron Burton in on the stop, a pickup of 6, 2nd and 4.
Third time you've seen the play, and again, it's used primarily to make sure those up front 4 people are aware of the running game so they can't lay their ears back and go to the quarterback. Good job blocking up front. Orson Mobley, Keith Bishop doing a good job of getting some sort of push, and Steve Sewell is the kind of guy that is going to need some time to pick a hole. He's a long strider, a guy that's not extremely quick to the hole, but a good job running that time.
Sewell had 5 carries for 9 yards in the first 2 ball games. Elway's got Vance Johnson. Vance down the sidelines, finally run out by Robert Williams and Everson Walls. Vance has a first down for Denver in Dallas territory.
Well, we said the Cowboys are going to be more aggressive this year. You'll see up the middle pressure as Eugene Lockhart comes with the blitz. But what you do when you blitz, you leave receivers one-on-one. And good receivers will think about scoring virtually every time they catch the football. Nice little dip by Vance Johnson. The ball is on time. As you'll see, Elway realize the up-front pressure, get rid of it. Johnson breaks the route, and he's thinking about touchdown with this little subtle move to the inside.
15-yard gain. The Elway to Vance Johnson connection. 1st and 10 from the Dallas 44. Elway to throw again with time. Rifles one for Sewell, and it's incomplete. Ken Norton right with Sewell. Hey, speaking of Vance Johnson, Vance been very quiet in this camp. He's been just an ordinary citizen, except for that flowing ponytail. Well, kind of hard to miss every day in Greeley.
Yeah, it kind of stands right there, doesn't it? He's looking for a big year. Had a terrific year last year.
Maybe when you played, if you had worn a ponytail, you might have gotten a lot more publicity in Cleveland.
I should have thought of that.
How would a ponytail have gone over in Cleveland? I guess you have no answer for
Cleveland's a blue-collar town. I'm not sure how they'd look upon a ponytail.
I was born in Cleveland. Very proud of that fact. 2nd and 10 from the 44. Elway. Incomplete, looking for Mark Jackson. Everson Walls, former Pro Bowler, on the coverage. Mark Jackson, of course, documented what happened this week. He walked out on Monday unhappy with contract negotiations, and Pat Bowlen got in the act, and Mark walked back in on Wednesday.
Everson Walls is a guy that's been to the Pro Bowl 4 times. Runs about a 4.75 in the 40, but he's incredibly smart and very adept at guessing as to what you're trying to do. That time he sat at about 20 yards and just waited for Mark Jackson to run the deep bend in, and actually ran the pattern for Mark.
Elway is 3 of 7 for 28 yards during his first half of the first quarter. He's got a 3rd and 10 in the Dallas 44, a 4 wide receiver set with Will Height. Gone over the middle for Vance Johnson, and it's incomplete. Bates and Horton were there. A flag is down back at midfield.
Just comes with work. He has not had a lot of work with the top 4 receivers in camp.
Guidry and Bell are the gunners, the 2 people on the ends that can go down early as Horan looks for the corner. Depends where they mark it. And it is between the 19 and the 20, which elicits some boos from the crowd of 75,000. We just saw a shot there of the new offensive coordinator, David Shula.
David Shula. We'll talk about him.
That we will when we return. 5:17 to go in the first quarter. Neither team is struck.
Look at the Cowboys' new offensive coordinator, David Shula, his 8th year in the National Football League. Spent a good deal of time under his father in Miami. Very bright youngster, a guy that's been around football, as you might expect, most of his lifetime. Took somewhat of a bad rap, I think, down in the Dolphin organization when the Miami team didn't play very well the last couple of years. But so far, so good in Dallas.
1st and 10 from the 20. Aikman at quarterback. Complete and incomplete. Irvin had it and dropped it. Let's see how they call it. They've made no decision yet. Now one referee says incomplete. Looked like Irvin had it and came down and lost it. Now they're saying, now there's going to be a confab here. We're going to have a little time as the referees talk about this one.
Well, you take a look at Aikman, terrific pass protection. This ball on a rope is a little bit high. As Irvin goes down, does he come down with 2 feet catching the football? From that angle, doesn't look like he caught the ball.
Both teams' offense and defenses are both on the field now, but if they replay this, Dave, I don't think he ever had possession.
I'll tell you this, players would love to hear a whistle and somebody make a decisive call. Either no, the catch has not been made, or yes, and it's a fumble. Because you've got bodies. Watch how many bodies will fly into the screen when the ball is put on the ground. Urban comes down. I don't know that he came down with both feet. And I mean, with the football loose and no whistle, you've got guys coming from every direction.
Well, we may get it. Do it again. The way Seaman explained it was somewhat confusing. The whole play was rather confusing. It's now over. It's 2nd and 10. Dallas has the ball on their 20. Hey, Aikman, not bashful, wants to put it up a lot tonight. He's got Jennings, and he's hog-tied by Michael Brooks at the 24. 4-yard pickup.
I'll tell you what's impressive about Troy Aikman. When he goes back in the pocket and makes a decision, the ball gets there quickly. He's got a tremendously strong arm, and I think before Troy Aikman is done, and this is a tough situation, coming into a new system, a rookie, you're expected to be the starting quarterback. You're fighting another rookie for the starting quarterback job, so there's nobody to learn from. It's not as though Aikman came into a deal where Steve Pellure is still here and able to help him.
Steve Pellure, of course, a holdout, wants to be traded. A number of teams have talked to the Cowboys, but as of yet, a deal has not been made. 3rd and 6. Aikman nearly picked off. He was looking for Kelvin Martin. Tyrone Braxton was there again. Tyrone very active first period. Well, he talked a little slow too.
We talked about Everson Walls and his ability to guess right. Mike Harden absolutely eats this pattern up. Watch him undercut the ball. It's Braxton, excuse me. And Braxton actually ran the pattern for Kelvin. That's very good coverage on Braxton's part. Double coverage with a man deep, so you know you're not going to get hurt if somebody runs by you. And a bad throw by Troy Aikman.
Saxon to punt. There is Ken Bell back on his 28. First return was 23 yards. Another nice punt from Saxon. Bell from his 25. Out to the 33, where he is stopped by Ron Burton. So it's an 8-yard pickup on the return after a 52-yard punt. We're still scoreless with 4 minutes
because they've not been able to work collectively together. They've been banged up at the receivers, the offensive line, and the running backs. Everybody's been hurt.
Mark Jackson is in. The only change right now for the Broncos. He is in there with Michael Young, so Vance Johnson taking a break. Here's Sewell. Not much room, but Steve cuts it up across the 40, near the 45, and a late flag. Get in somebody's way and make sure they don't get run over. Now, there have been some great ones that really, I think, enjoyed blocking. The guy that comes to mind immediately, Paul Warfield, was a tremendous blocker. Used to say Warfield, a great blocker in his prime with the Browns. 1st and 13, the ball's in the 31. Alexander, there's a big hole for Alexander. Runs hard across the 40 to the 42. He'll be a couple of yards short of a first down. Eugene Lockhart made the tackle.
Well, when you get a 235-pounder behind an all-pro like Keith Bishop, look at the trap block. Bishop with a tremendous effort. And Alexander, who's looked very good in preseason so far, is able to break it into the secondary.
Well, you're right. Bishop just wiped out Ron Burton.
I think one thing that's been evident in this camp, they're going to come out and throw the ball, yes, in the regular season, but they're also going to take advantage of a much stronger offensive line. They want to be able to run the football when they have to, and you can't run the ball unless you do it in the preseason.
2nd down and 2. Sammy Winder is fine. He's been given the night off. On the delay, it's Sewell. Got a first down. Burton makes the stop. Sewell's out to the 46. Kind of a young Cowboy defense once you get past Too Tall and Jim Jeffcoat.
Well, you go into this game in the 3rd preseason game, and you're formulating a game plan, unlike the first 2. They've run this play successfully, I might add, 4 times. And really, it's been a good job up front and a good job by Steve Sewell at reading the blocks and at that time bouncing it outside.
Steve Sewell, a guy who is really a jack of all trades, never really played one position permanently in his 4 previous years here in Denver. An H-back, a wide receiver, a running back. Alexander bounces off one tackle, and he'll be thrown for a loss as Bates and Jeffcoat combined to bring him down. He bounced off Willie Broughton. Good look at Jeffcoat in his 7th year out of Arizona State. He's made a habit of taking deflected passes by two-tone, scoring some touchdowns. I remember a couple years ago against the Giants, I think he did it twice in one game to Phil Simms.
Well, Jeff Coat, they're counting on. I'm sure they feel he's their best defensive lineman. And I think he's going to be more at home in a defense like this where they just turn him loose and tell him to go get the quarterback. The flex defense, we talked about it before, requires so much reading. I mean, you've got to wait and see what your offensive lineman does, and by that time, it's virtually impossible to get much pressure on the quarterback.
6-yard loss at 2nd and 16. A 4-wide receiver set is in, and Garriga apparently moved early. 2nd down and 21 as the Broncos heading backwards. Elway hits Ken Bell out to the 44. Manny Hendricks made the stop. I said left tackle, excuse me. He's playing right guard. He started at left tackle, then moved over to right guard after Wydell sat down and Gerald Perry moved into the starting lineup.
Very important for the Broncos to really do a better job pass protection-wise. As you've seen the first couple of games, quarterbacks have been harried, at least initially in the game. Pretty good job that time.
Sewell and Watson will be wide to the right. Young and Johnson are wide to the left.
Here they come.
Cowboys look like they're on their way. Here they come. Elway gets it off quickly. Incomplete off the hands of Steve Watson. And the Broncos will have to punt.
Everybody makes the right read. Watson with the side adjust. He sees the blitz. He breaks his pattern 6 yards out. The ball got there a little before Steve could turn his head and adjust himself, but that's what you have to see. I think they'll probably be pleased with that in the film study because everybody did the right thing. Elway saw the blitz. Watson saw the blitz. They just barely missed in the time.
But I'm sure a pass that Watson will tell you he should have had.
Yeah, he's caught those passes before.
Aranda punt. Kelvin Martin is deep. This one's going to bound inside the 10. Inside the 5. Ken Bell is there to down it on the 2-yard line. "53-yard punt by Mike Horan. This telecast, and see how Aikman does now as he's backed up in his own end zone. Walker, the running back. He's got it. He got to the 5 at the most. Munford, one of them off the pile. Kevin Brooks, number 78, was in there as well. So we played one. Former Cowboy Kevin Brooks making an appearance. We'll talk about that when we come back. We played one quarter. We are scoreless from the stadium. Statistics would show you Denver slightly ahead there on the ground and in the air, but we are scoreless. Neither team has really threatened yet. Denver has made 2 changes defensively. Number 90, Freddie Gilbert. Number 78, Kevin Brooks.
Where were you last week?
In the ball game. Yeah, where were you last week? You've got that brace. Report to the locker room immediately. Brooks and Gilbert in the ball game for the Broncos, and certainly they are 2 guys, Dave, fighting for spots on that defensive line.
Yeah, Freddie Gilbert admitting yesterday that this might be the last go for him. He's out to prove he can play. He's been able to stay relatively healthy in camp, which is a bonus, but he's got to show he can make this team. 2nd down and 8 for Aikman and the Cowboys. Herschel Walker with it. Fumbles the football. It's loose down there near the goal line. Walker apparently got it back. Well, it's tough when you're backed up this close to your own end zone. And Walker, it looked like the ball hit him a little bit high initially as Herschel goes after it. Not much room for error. Herschel Walker is a guy that it looked there that he got the ball a little bit high from Aikman and never had it. And good penetration by the Bronco defense. Plays like this illustrate the importance of catching punts when they land to the 24-yard line. I can guarantee you that's how head coaches think. Very noisy now in the closed end of the stadium as Aikman has a 3rd and 11 from his 2 from deep in his end zone. If they call it a catch, that'll be a 1st down, but they're ruling it's incomplete. He was looking
For Cornell Burbage, Mike Harden was on the coverage, so now Mike Saxon will be backed up to the very deepest part of his end zone.
Good pressure that time up the middle. Warren Powers doing an excellent job of getting pressure on Aikman. Dennis Smith on the blitz, and when you've got people backed up that deep, you can really come after them.
Especially a rookie quarterback. Although Aikman appears to have a lot of poise.
See, this is where punters make their money. I think they should keep statistics, and the teams do, but I think you should be able to chart how punters perform when they're kicking out of their own end zone.
Good point is Saxon. Not as deep a kick as the previous two, but Bell lets it bounce, and it takes a Cowboy bounce. Ken picks it up at the 40. Breaks a tackle. A flag is down. Bell goes down at midfield, but a flag is down at the 43. Gerald Wilhite now in the backfield with Melvin Bratton. So the Broncos have made a change there on 1st and 10 as Elway, the fake, rolls, throws, and hits Pat Kelly at the 43. Danny Noonan made the tackle along with Eugene Lockhart. Pat Kelly, second-year man from Syracuse, caught a touchdown pass against the Rams.
He's had a pretty good camp. Better blocker than it was last year. That play designed to get the ball to Melvin Bratton in the flat. Kelly is what's left if Bratton is covered. John with a dangerous throw, but he's the kind of quarterback that can make that and get away with it.
Broncos make some changes on the offensive line as well. Dave Studdard in at left tackle, Monty Smith at left guard, Mike Ruther at center. Yes. Ed Too Tall Jones at the age of 38 shows Gerald Wilhite that he's still got some play left.
It's amazing when you think about how long Ed Jones has performed for the Cowboys. As you just said, 15 years. He's been a terrific player. Here's a guy that has never taped his ankles or his hands in 15 years of pro football.
That's amazing.
That's an amazing. There are guys that wouldn't even go out with their ankles taped, even to play in warm-up.
I'll tell you what's also amazing. He has never missed a game. The only year he missed was the year he took off to box. Remember that in '79. Other than that, the man has never missed a game. Elway on 2nd and 13. Rifles one over the middle. Incomplete. Watson, the intended receiver.
And what John was saying right there, move one way or the other. Give me an indication as to which way you're going, but tell me something. And that time, Steve just basically hooked up in the middle of the field. You'll be able to see Steve Watson, who really is a master at reading the zone defense, and this is exactly what he wants. He fights off the inside protection. Now move. Step to one side or the other as you see Steve. And the ball, John thinking Steve's going to step to his right. Steve basically coming back to John Elway. That is taken care of with repetition. And that's something, again, that they have been unable to do, and really because everybody's been banged up.
3rd and 13 from the shotgun. Elway with time steps up. He's going to run. He's hit from behind. And down he goes to the 45. Hopefully John's okay. He is.
I think he fumbled the ball.
Yeah, we may have a fumble. Looks like we do. Jeff Coates the final one up. Let's take a look. Dallas has it at the 45.
Looking for Vance Johnson over the middle, and he just doesn't pop open. John Elway's made this play so many times before, steps up, but you see him get caught from behind, and when he first goes down, it looks ugly. Yanked down from his shoulder pads, and you can see the ball clearly loose. As Tolbert is able to shake it free. Quarterbacks can't make living. They can't make their living in this league if they run too much. And you see Tony Tolbert with great speed out of UTEP.
Their 4th-round draft choice. First turnover of the ball game. One thing Johnson wanted to do was really turn around the turnover ratio. They were minus for the first time. Burbage and Ray Alexander, the former Bronco, now in at wide receiver. Darrell Johnston now in the backfield with Herschel Walker. Here's Walker. Well, he just won't go down. Takes a gang to stop Herschel.
Jimmy Johnson said he wanted to keep Herschel Walker much more fresh this year than last year. As we mentioned, over 2,000 total yards for Walker, but he only had 5 touchdowns. May have worn down a little bit toward the end of the season. Of course, was utilized so many times last year, but very, very tough, and it has enough speed, obviously, when he bounces to the outside that few can catch it.
Mecklenburg, Munford, Smith, Brooks were all there. Herschel 5 carries for 7 yards. You see what he did last year. Second down, called a long 6. Here comes the blitz from Simon Fletcher. The pass was complete to Walker. Now they'll call it out of bounds. Aikman thought did a pretty good job of feeling the pressure and getting the pass off.
Well, Simon Fletcher comes from the top of the screen, and nobody picks him up. Aikman, I think, caught a glance of him right there. Pretty good sense of getting rid of the football right before number 73 takes Aikman to the turf. You're going to see a lot of Fletcher this year utilized in pass rushing situations. Big, strong outside linebacker who's simply going to get better the next couple of years. Very young.
Excuse me, Dave. Broncos have that nickel package in, and Atwater, you can see him in the side of your screen, basically plays on linebacker. 3rd and 6 from the 41. Here's the handoff to Walker. He's got a big hole. He's got a first down to the 32. Dennis Smith makes the tackle. A first down for Dallas. A 9-yard pickup.
One of the problems when you play the nickel defense, you put people in that are used to covering folks and not really tackling. You see Dennis Smith with a good job of knocking Walker down, but if you break the initial front 4 in a nickel defense, everybody else is turning around trying to cover a receiver. So you stand a pretty good chance of picking up positive yardage.
10:50 to go in the first half. In case you joined us late, we're scoreless. Neither team has really threatened. This has been the deepest penetration. Here's Walker again. Running hard, breaking tackles. Broke the tackle of Scott Curtis, got all the way down to the 22. That'll be close to another first down. Curtis, 58, the Plan B free agent.
Well, he led the National Football League in rushing last year. And what you want to note is how many yards backs make after they break the initial tackle. That time you can chalk up about 9 more yards for Herschel Walker.
Broncos right now have Powers 91, Brooks 78, and Carricker 92 up front. Michael Brooks, Munford, Simon Fletcher, and Scott Curtis as the backers. Atwater, Carrington, Dennis Smith, and Braxton, the defensive secondary. That's your Bronco defense.
If you're Troy Aikman, you can think of a lot of places that you wouldn't want to be, but Dallas with Herschel Walker behind you is not a bad spot, even though they lost 13 games last year. 34 takes a lot of pressure off that youngster.
And a veteran offensive line. So he's got some promise. Walker again, hit right away by Kevin Brooks. Thrown for a loss. Brooks, the former Cowboy, came over right before training camp.
Well, this is the way to stop him. You'll see Brooks low and Carricker high. Pretty tough to run when somebody's got your legs wrapped up. Good job by Kevin Brooks, who I think the Broncos would really like to see come on at the nose guard. He gives them terrific size, 290 pounds.
That's Michael Brooks. He's the linebacker. Kevin Brooks, much bigger than that.
You look at him over the nose. Look at him over the center of the football.
He's 6'6", 295. No gain, 2nd and 10. Aikman to throw. Nearly intercepted by Munford. He was looking for Jennings. Smith made the hit, and Munford nearly had the pick. Dennis Smith has looked good throughout camp. He's quietly gaining confidence, staying healthy. I know he wants to get back to that Pro Bowl standard that he set for himself.
And I think he can. You see Babe Laufenberg signaling in the play.
Babe Laufenberg said this week they're going to flip a coin next week between Aikman and Walsh. If the coin lands on its side, that means it's me. I get the start.
That may be the only chance he has.
Aikman 3 of 9 for 20 yards. He's got a 3rd and 10 to the Bronco 21. Aikman's got Walker. Herschel inside the 10, down the sidelines, touchdown.
What a great block by Michael Irvin. And hopefully we'll have a chance to see as Herschel Walker breaks the tackle of Steve Atwater. Very tough to cover Herschel Walker one-on-one, not so much for his moves, but for his ability to break tackles. You see not much of a pattern. Atwater goes for the interception, can't do it. And watch Irvin come from the right side of the screen there as he blocks 2 Denver Broncos and allows Herschel Walker to tiptoe into the end zone.
Herschel Walker, he's a load.
Well, he's a guy that I have rarely seen him tackle with one guy. He is not going to be able to bring down. A guy he's so big and so fast. Very tough on the defense.
Roger Ruzek has the conversion. We've got 9:10 to go. I'll tell you, up in Greeley talking to him, I mean, he is so determined to have a big year. He wants to stay in one place. Here's Ken Bell from his goal line. Twists and turns across the 20 out to the 23, and a flag goes down. Randy Shannon.
Chances are very, very slim during the course of a season. Doesn't happen many times where a team from its own 12 will score.
Broncos have the one-back offense in there. Alexander, the lone setback. Mobley and Kelly, the tight end, and the H-back. Watson and Jackson, the wide receivers. Lower part of your screen. Alexander with a hole. Jeff out to the 20. Ken Tippins, number 97, rookie linebacker, made the stop.
Alexander's looked good a couple of times. A nice trap block in that particular play by Orson Mobley, who they put in motion, brought him back, and he actually trapped the nose tackle.
Of course, Clarence Kay out probably till the beginning of the regular season, so Mobley and Kelly will get plenty of work. 2nd and 1. That's Mobley in motion. Alexander again. He's got the first down as he runs out near the 25.
Well, that's a play I'm sure when Orson heard it called in the huddle, he said, again? And most guys, when you trap the defensive tackle the first time, that's okay because he can't really see you coming. But if you run the exact same play, which that was, even if you're 262 pounds, you don't really feel like doing it.
Tony Simmons made the stop. Simmons is in there along with Randy Shannon, Rod Carter, Darryl Ford, Tony Tolbert. Second team defense on the field for the Cowboys. The 1st and 10 from the 25. Third straight time for Alexander. He's out close to the 30. Ken Tippins, 97, tripped him up again. Little smash ball here for the Broncos on this series with 7:25 to go in the first half. They trail 7-0.
Good look at an inside linebacker and what he must do. He'll see both away offensive linemen pull. Does a decent job of fighting off the block by Kenny Lanier and actually is involved in the tackle. A lot of action in the linebacking position. You got guys flying every which way and you're trying to read the guard. Here comes the tight end and some back is trying to block you.
Will Height and Bratton check back in for the Broncos on 2nd down and 6. Will Height hit by Vince Albritton and knocked down at the 32. A pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Gerald had a lot of things on tonight. That looks like a harness for his shoulder.
Well, it looks like he'd be good running to the right because it'd almost be downhill with his shoulder all built up. Of course, he separated it 3.5 weeks ago. It's good to see Gerald just back in action.
I'll tell you, maybe there's no greater misconception in Denver that Gerald Wilhite is not a tough fella, because he is.
Well, he's the best blocking back this team has and one of the toughest members of the squad, no doubt about it.
Wilhite and Bratton the backs. Here's Wilhite on 3rd and 2. He's got a first down. Dave. Tippins made the tackle.
Excuse me, Ron. Football is such a guessing game. You can break a big play like that. Broncos looking to run the football. Gerald's got something hanging out of his arm. Looks like a space invader. Referee said, let me take a look at this. You're okay. You can stay in. Just put it back in your jersey. Now's a good time for a play action pass if Dan decides to. He's got a little breathing room, the 36-yard line, and they've run the football 5 consecutive plays.
Give you an update on Mecklenburg in a moment. It's 1st and 10 from the 36. Now they'll throw as Elway. The quick pass to Wilhite. Albritton stands him up at the 45. It'll be a pickup of 9, 2nd and 1. The word from the Bronco bench is that Carl Mecklenburg has a sprained knee and will not return. Mecklenburg sitting on the bench, not really being attended to at the moment, so hopefully it is not a serious injury and Meck will be fine for next week in Indianapolis.
That last play with Gerald Wilhite flanked out as a wide receiver. That's why backs in this system have to be able to catch. They forced Vince Albritton, the strong safety, to move out and play him one-on-one, and strong safety's really not adept, at least most of them, in covering people.
Wilhite in motion. Melvin Bratton, his first carry of the evening. He should have enough for a first down. Jeff Roth, number 91, made the stop. Roth, one of their 5th-round picks. You know, you look at the Broncos running back situation. Somebody there has to go. You've got 8. If you don't count Ken Bell, that's 7. You know he'll only carry 5 or 6.
Got some tough decisions. At least 8 players have to be gone by Tuesday. So this is a critical game for a lot of guys. This is a playoff game for some.
It's a 1st and 10 as the Broncos have moved it out from their 12 to the 47. May have a Cowboy offsides. Elway may have a free play. He airs it out for Jackson. That's intercepted by Vince Albritton.
I don't know why he jumped up and spiked the football.
Why didn't he
still run with it? First of all, it's going to be offsides on Dallas, so the play will figures that have been around for a few years with the same quarterback. It's a big game for me. I need you whenever you can. Give me a chance to catch the ball.
Even if I'm covered.
And if he does, I'll tell you, John Elway will throw in the back.
Here's Wilhite. Nice hold for Gerald. Across the 45 down to about the 43. Vince Albritton again made the stop. Albritton very active here. He's fighting Bill Bates for that starting strong safety spot. He's making an impact on this series.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him beating out Bill Bates. He's stronger than Bates. He's bigger and faster. But Bates is just a guy that has a knack for being around the football and making big plays. To get that defense fired up because they've been kicked back about 45 yards, 4 yards at a time.
Wilhite now shifts into a wide receiver spot. Bratton is the lone running back. Elway looked for Wilhite and it was off Gerald's hands.
So you've got that all day. As I mentioned before, when you flank that running back outside and you force a strong safety to move out and cover him, first of all, Albritton gives him about 10 yards cushion. So you've got anything you want to underneath. That time Gerald may have been a little deep in his pattern and the ball actually beat him to the cut. But you can do that, and that's what makes versatile backs so important to this offense.
Hoping to see Bobby Humphrey, the #1 supplemental pick here in the second half. Of course, like Bratton, coming off an injury. Humphrey broke his foot. Says he's fine. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the Dallas 42. Shovel pass to Wilhite. He's got a block down to the 35 where Billy Owens made the stop. Owens the free safety. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
You see Gerald, you know, sometimes your mind tells you what to do, your feet just can't do it. And he's laid off for 3.5 weeks and really had a lot of open ground to make had he been able to keep his footing.
Well, that play was something we've seen for the last 7 years here in Denver.
I've seen Gerald Wilhite score on that particular play.
Ball's at the 36. 4 wide receivers and Wilhite. That's Sewell in motion. Elway throws to Vance Johnson. He's got it in a first down. He's ridden out at the Dallas 21. Tim Jackson, number 32, and Albritton made the stop. A first down for Denver. 3rd catch for Vance Johnson.
You'll see Steve Watson on the left of your screen. He will go to the flag, and Vance Johnson is simply the receiver that will remain there and be the option for Elway if Watson's not open. Good job of coming back to the football. Good pass protection up front, and you can see Vance gain positive yards after the catch.
3:07 to go. This drive started on the Denver 12. They've got a 1st and 10 at the Dallas 21. Bratton is back in with Wilhite. Bratton's got it. And he stopped immediately. Rod Carter, 10th round draft pick out of Miami, made the tackle.
I mentioned earlier football is such a guessing game. That time Broncos guessed wrong as the Cowboys bringing both inside linebackers, and on a draw play, a quick draw, if both inside backers come, you've got nobody to block them because the guy that usually blocks them in this case is the guy that's carrying the football. So sometimes you get the bear, and of course sometimes the bear gets you.
2nd down and 12. The ball is on the 23. 2.5 minutes to go in this first half. Dallas leads 7-0. They have an offsides call here. Elway may have another free play. He looks in the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Gary Lee was
maybe twice, but once 5 times in the first half. I'll guarantee you they'll hear about it in the locker room.
2:18 to go in the half. We may see a little of Elway in the third quarter.
I suspect we'll probably see quite a bit, because this is really the first drive that they've been able to sustain and get everybody involved and more or less together.
May see some of Steve Walsh here somewhere in the third quarter. Of course, Walsh and Aikman still fighting it out. Jimmy Johnson says he'll introduce the starter before the home crowd next week in their final tune-up against Houston. On Ken Lanier, the offensive line. Lanier, for the moment, the only starter. Second down and 7. Elway. He's got Gary Lee. Lee down inside the 10-yard line. Another first down for Denver. Ken Tippins made the stop, but Gary Lee making his first impact as a Bronco.
Same idea as previously run. Gary Lee with the drag pattern. Elway will look quickly to the flag. If nobody's open, Lee is wide open. He gets up and just in time to get knocked forward about 8 yards. Good job by Gary Lee of keeping his balance and getting as many yards as he possibly can. You see Lee in motion. He'll simply run up 5 yards and break to the sideline and wait for the ball. Elway making the right choice. Take the open man. Take the easy throw. Rarely will you be wrong if you do that. You might not have as many big plays, but you also won't have as many interceptions.
It's first and goal from the 6. Lee came a few weeks back from the Lions for a draft pick. Upside, it's Alexander near the goal line. And it is a touchdown. Jeff Alexander.
This is the 5th time they've run the play in the series. Orson Mobley with the trap block, and Alexander will meet Vince Albritton at the goal line and just runs right over the top of him. Albritton, keep in mind, is 6'2" and about 218, a very big, strong safety, but no match in that case for Jeff Alexander.
Rafael Septien on for the conversion. It is up and good, and with 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go, Denver has tied it up. Dallas and Denver tied at 7.
Got to hope for divine intervention, because there's no way to stop a guy 232 pounds with a full head of steam, even if you're a very good tackler, and Albritton is. Good job of Alexander running behind his pads, getting low enough, but just not going to be able to tackle him.
You said in the break it was almost like a wishbone drive. 14 plays, 88 yards, predominantly on the ground, and had to be a little encouraged with the way Denver ran that ball behind their second-team offensive line.
Our coaches love that. They love to look at the game film and see 14 plays, 88 yards, few mistakes, and the result, a touchdown.
Septien, amid a smattering of boos, kicks off to Burbage 2 yards deep in the end zone. A flag is down. Burbage is hit by Tyrone Braxton at the 19, falls forward to the 22, but the flag is... leg up, Septien or Treadwell. Septien appears to have a little bit of a stronger leg.
But Dan's got a tough decision to make, obviously, from everything that's gone on, and especially with Rich Karlis still out of camp. If your kicker is here, then I think right now it's virtually a dead heat. If he's not, then whomever it might be you bring in had better get in next week and get some kicking before Kansas City rolls in September 10th.
Well, we'll talk to Pat Bowlen about that at halftime, the Karlis situation, Rafael Septien. And the ball blows off the tee. See if somebody goes out to hold it.
Darren Carrington, the holder, and hoping that Rafael Septien is accurate.
Apparently he is. Pretty deep kick as it drives Burbage back a yard inside the goal line. Burbage hit down by Richard Shelton after a good return out across the 25.
Steve Walsh guided his team 63 yards in 58 seconds for a touchdown. So Aikman has his work cut out for him in terms of competing with that particular drive.
96, Richard McCullough, the 4th round choice from Clemson. 99, Sean Knight Both of them now in the ball game on the defensive line. They're there with Warren Powers, the second-round pick. Munford, Curtis, Simon, Fletcher, and Brooks, the backers. Smith, Atwater, Braxton, and Carrington, the defensive backs. The ball's on the 28. Aikman completes it to number 35, Kevin Scott. Scott Curtis made the catch, but a flag is
starts to have reasonable success and gets the football up close to midfield. You'll see more than just one linebacker come.
Scott Ankrum, number 19, Cornell Burbage, 82, are wide to the right. Here comes the blitz. It's a screen to Walker. He's got some blocking. He's to the outside. Simon Fletcher runs him out at the Cowboy 32. A 14-yard pickup. It'll be second down and 6, minute 29 to go in the half. Couple of first stringers in there. From the shotgun. He's got Walker again. By Munford, but not by Curtis. He makes the tackle at the 42. Pickup of 10 and a first down. Mike Harden, Wyman, Henderson, all back into the ball game. Minute 19 to go. Maybe those two passes to Walker got Dan Reeves' attention. From the shotgun. Aikman, here comes, he got it away, but Carricker was all over Aikman.
And Aikman's going to be called down. I believe is going to be called in the grasp and will be brought back and called a sack.
Should be.
Which means for the Broncos, the clock continues to run, or it should.
Alfonso Carricker, his first sack in a Bronco uniform. Clock is running, a minute 5. And counting, second and 16, a loss of 6. Ball back on the 36. Here comes Carricker again. Pass is dropped by Kevin Scott. Kevin Guidry was there on the coverage. It'll be third and 16. That stops the clock with 51 seconds left.
They can't ask for more than that. Aikman does a nice job of standing in the pocket. Pretty good pass protection up front. Delivers the football right on the money. You'll see the previous play. This is the sack as Carricker reaches around, is able to control Aikman.
Do you like that rule?
Well, I think it's a tough rule for quarterbacks that are physically able to break a lot of tackles. I also think that it's paramount to make sure that you try to keep the quarterbacks as healthy as possible, because people come out to see the quarterbacks. You don't want to come out and see a second, third team quarterback playing in November, try to decide who's going to the playoffs.
Cowboys take a timeout. Alexander and Scott are wide to the right. Ankrum and Burbage wide to the left. Walker, the lone setback. Walker's got the football. Got a long way to go, and he's not going to get there as Warren Powers, the rookie, flings Walker to the turf at the Dallas 40.
Troy Aikman looked like he checked off at the line of scrimmage, and Herschel Walker's trying to hear as to what play. You call him my play?
Guess so.
Indeed it was. Walker does a good job trying to bounce outside, and had it not been for Warren Powers, there was much more yardage to be had.
Warren Powers showing you how strong he is, taking Herschel Walker at 240 pounds and flinging him to the turf. Walker, I'm sure, looked at Aikman and said, "Hey, we do have 16 yards to go here." So Dallas, with
last year, 5 of those losses came by a combined total of 12 points. So they were in a number of games. They just couldn't come up with the big play to win it.
In a rather bizarre division, much like the Broncos. At one time, the NFC East, like the AFC West, may have been the best, but a number of those teams, like the Redskins and the Giants, have fallen back a bit into the pack. Nice hanging spiral that Bell fields at his 12. Gets by Bates, but Bates comes back, and he's in on the tackle at the Denver 22, so a 10-yard return by Denver, Colorado, 8:02:17. Show will air live at 6:30.
John tries to get Vance Johnson to please line up on the left side. Vance in turn tries to move Steve Watson out. This play does not look like it's going to be run correctly right from the start.
I think John asked him all that nicely on 1st and 10 as he steps up, fires over the middle, and Michael Young drops it at the Denver 45. 20 seconds left in the half. Watson, Johnson, Jackson, and Young. Incomplete.
John is accustomed to having Dan call every play, and it might be tough to change it after 7 years.
3rd and 10, the ball on the 23, and the Broncos will just kill it right there. So the clock will run out, the teams will run off, and we haven't decided. Okay. Blame it on TV. Now we'll start the second half again. Treadwell, what's going to do about the goal line? Maybe a yard deep. Cornell Burbage brings it out. He's got a hole, a big hole. Spins off a tackle. Tim Lucas finally stops him at the Dallas 41. So a 42-yard return by Cornell Burbage. As Steve Walsh trots into the ball game.
Well, the kick has enough depth, but it really didn't get enough height, and it didn't allow the guys to get down and have a chance to cover. Good job by Burbage. You can see Treadwell with an excellent job there, sticking his head in. Didn't quite get him down, but he slowed him down enough for Lucas to make the cover.
Make of this what you will. That's 2 long returns by Treadwell kickoffs in the last 2 weeks. Steve Walsh out of Miami in the ball game on 1st and 10. There was the pitch to Darryl Clack. Clack, of course, a big star at Widefield High School. Went on to matriculate at Arizona State. 3 pretty solid years with Dallas.
Darryl Clack's been in the wrong place at the wrong time. He hasn't been able to stay completely healthy, but he's been with Tony Dorsett. He's been with Herschel Walker. Actually went 37 games, regular season games, without a carry. Now, you tend to get a bit rusty if you don't get any work, and certainly Clack was an excellent performer at Arizona State.
3 yards for Dale. There's the stats at Miami. The guy that you called the winner. That he is. Walsh to throw. Incomplete off the fingertips of Clack. It'll be 3rd and 7. Flag is down. Couple of flags back at the 3rd time. That one's been called on him, as you see Aikman with the baseball cap on.
See, I really don't think there's any quarterback controversy at all. I think Aikman's going to be the starter. I find it hard to believe that you would pay a youngster $11.2 million, as you see Wydell right there have a hold of Carrick's face mask. But even though Steve Walsh is a qualified quarterback, I just don't see him knocking off Aikman as a starter.
Walsh throws it to Clack. He gets a block, but then Braxton, with help from Scott Curtis, makes the tackle at the 39. They'll give him a pickup of 4. It'll be 3rd and 13. I think you're right. I think Aikman is the starter.
Walsh trying to, again, draw him in. Clack blocking Brooks for 2 counts and just falls outside. It's up to linebackers, and a good job by Braxton avoiding the block, as he and Mumford and Scott Curtis arrive about the same time. Here's a guy that was 23-1 in 2 years at Miami. Last week was 11 of 21 for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half against the Raiders. So he's got the ability. He's got great ability to play in this league.
It's 3rd and 13. You look at him and you remember how many times he engineered comebacks in college. Now over the middle, it's complete to Ray Alexander. Tackled by Atwater, but into Denver territory at the 41. That's a 1st down. Walsh makes the nice throw.
Well, you see Ray Alexander doing a good job initially of avoiding. It's a zone coverage that the Broncos tried to disguise as man. So you're going to have that hole open up. The cornerbacks are up. They want to funnel the receiver inside. Alexander doing a good job of rerouting, getting depth, and just finding the open seam.
54 catches for Alexander last year. Of course, he played in Denver in '84. That is Clack up the middle, inside the 40 to the 39. Scott Curtis. Well, you call his name a lot when Curtis is in the ball game. He's around the ball. He makes the tackle. Ray Alexander had some big days in '84 with this team.
He's got very good hands. Doesn't have great speed. Few of the Cowboy receivers are gifted with that outstanding speed. Bumbridge probably being the fastest. And that's one department I'm sure Jimmy Johnson wants to upgrade. But Alexander does have excellent hands.
Clack again. Curtis hit him first. He got a couple. It'll be 3rd and about 5. 11:15 counting here in this 3rd quarter. We're tied at 7. Clack is 5'10", 220. I remember him well from his Widefield days. Of course, I remember you from your Wheat Group days.
Of course, you're old enough to remember.
Glad you brought that up. You're not far behind me. That's why you're up here, not down there. 3rd and 5. Whoa. I think that ball, Dave, might have been tipped. He was looking for Kevin Scott. If we have a replay, I think one of Denver's defensive linemen may have gotten a hand on it.
The one thing that Steve Walsh has to work on when you take that step from being a great college quarterback and attempt to be a great NFL quarterback, you've got to get back quicker. If you watch Steve Walsh, and not necessarily every play, but he has a tendency to kind of lope back and not really get back to the fifth step and throw the football.
4th down is from the shotgun. The Cowboys will go for it. They need 5. Here comes the rush. Walsh over the middle. It's intercepted by Mike Harden. Harden fumbles the football. It looks like the Broncos have it. Tyrone Braxton held on, so a wild play gives Denver the ball. Harden took a hit, coughed it up, but Braxton was there.
And this is just inexperience coupled with a very good pass rush. As Steve Walsh moves around and tries to force the football, Mike Harden, playing free safety, just steps in front of Ray Alexander. Now Harden doesn't see what's coming up for him. Harden really takes a lick.
Mike got up in about 3 different directions.
Hey, offensive linemen, they don't know. They just come a million miles an hour.
We'll be back in just a minute. And John Elway. Here is Humphrey for the first time as a Bronco, and let the record show it was a 2-yard pickup.
The pass play, the interception by Mike Harden, does an excellent job of cutting in front of Ray Alexander. After he makes the interception, he'll look to his left and forget the guy that is ultimately going to put the hit on him. I mean, that would dent a Volkswagen. Wydell comes looking for nothing but Mike Harden. Atwater has a chance. Megan Wyman Henderson has a chance for the ball, and ultimately the Broncos recover the fumble. I mean, offensive linemen are dangerous when they're coming down trying to look for the guy who's made the interception.
Elway starts the 3rd quarter, and he's sacked, and a flag back there. Danny Noonan, for his impact, is felt.
Absolutely. Let's keep in mind he's a rookie. He's a guy he hadn't played much football the last couple of years because of the injury.
It's 3rd and 14. The Cowboys are showing blitz. Elway with time, and it's caught by Mark Jackson. And they will mark it, I think, enough for a 1st down. It's out near midfield.
Well, unlike the last play, this is good pass protection. You'll see Gerald Wilhite on the right side. Watch him slide and watch him pick up whoever comes in. I mean, that's sticking your helmet into a big defensive lineman, and that's why Mark Jackson is so valuable to this team. He makes the tough catches, and he makes them routinely. He's a guy that you can count on to come up with the football when you throw it to him. That's why John Elway has supreme confidence in number 80.
With 3rd down play, he took it right off the grass. 1st and 10, the Broncos have it on their own 49. Alexander alone back behind Elway. Pump fake. Wants all of it. Looking deep for Vance Johnson. Everson Walls was there. Crowd oohs and ahs, but it's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10.
Well, you'll see the end of the play, and Ray Horton, the free safety, does a good job, but Everson Walls, who again does not have great speed, does a nice job of staying up with the speedy Vance Johnson.
He's in his 9th year. When you played as long as Everson Walls, I guess you do it with other things other than speed.
Well, here's a guy nobody wanted. Nobody drafted Everson Walls. Just had a tryout with the Cowboys, and he's been a terrific player for them.
So many players made their mark that way. Steve Watson, Bob Swenson. Elway gets it off, and it's incomplete. Johnson and Young were in the neighborhood. This is John's first extended action of the '89 season.
The Cowboys that time brought everybody but 3 defensive backs, and they forced Elway to make a decision quickly, and nobody was open. That's the trend of National Football League defense. It used to be you'd sit back in the zone and you'd wait for the offense to make a mistake. Not anymore. If you're going to beat most defenses, you've got to make correct, concise decisions, and you've got to hit open receivers. That time, nobody opened.
Watson and Jackson on the lower part of your screen. Johnson and Young on top. 3rd and 10. It's got Vance Johnson. That'll be very close to a first down. Ron Francis made the tackle. Vance having a pretty good night.
And again, conversely, this is what happens when the quarterback has time to throw. You've got man-on-man coverage. Francis to the inside actually grabs Johnson's jersey. That's just an excellent throw. Good job by Vance coming up with a football, but give credit to the guy in the pocket who makes the throw on time on an out pattern.
It's going to be about a foot short. I think Vance has that ponytail kind of either tucked under the helmet or into his pads.
Well, I would too. I wouldn't want to get yanked. Somebody trying to tackle me.
It's 4th and a foot. Ball is on the Dallas 41. Coach Logan, you make the call.
Well, you would think that since Alexander has had great success as a big back, you might give him the football. But coming out in the I formation, if it's a running play, more than likely, Gerald Wilhelm. Now that I've covered myself, watch the play action pass.
Yeah. Anything else you want to get in there?
No, I think it's Wilhelm.
They need a foot. Elway will take it himself. He's got the first down with room to spare.
You know, the one thing that I didn't mention, the only guy that I didn't mention, I had receivers, I had Alexander, I had Wilhelm, and this is the logical choice. Give it to the guy that has the least distance to get. John Elway. Big, strong quarterback, good surge by the offensive line.
Yeah, he was dragging Eugene Lockhart with him. 6'3", 215 pounds. 8.5 minutes and counting to go. 7-7 ball game. Third quarter. That's Humphrey in motion. Elway looks left, throws it out to Pat Kelly. Kelly's inside the 30 down to the 29. Ron Burton ran him out.
Again, what's been impressive about the last two drives, the 14-play touchdown drive and this one, John Elway is taking what the defense gives. He's making the easy throw. He's taking the wide-open receiver. And although it doesn't look pretty, it continually moves the chains. It picks up first downs. It utilizes the clock. And ultimately, it'll give you a chance to score.
As far as we can tell, Carl Mecklenburg has not come out of the locker room. He left in the first quarter with a sprained knee. Good insight. 8:17 to go in this third quarter. Broncos started this drive on their own 37. Elway has got Alexander. Steps inside the 20, running hard down to the 15. Everson Walls, along with Eugene Lockhart, make the stop, but Alexander continues to be impressive.
That's a good call to get that fullback out in the flat. And Jeff Alexander makes a heck of an adjustment to turn around and catch the ball. You see him spin all the way around. Nifty footwork there by a guy who's 235 pounds. Alexander really has figured prominently so far in the preseason, and with play like that, you would figure him to play quite a bit in the regular season.
I'll tell you, one guy who was very high on him was the owner at halftime between the commercial there. He said, what about Jeff Alexander? I think he is locked up. A spot, maybe a starting spot. Elway, incomplete for Kelly. Burton was there in the coverage. I think the team misses Clarence Kay. I think, he's such a big part of the running game, and maybe the best blocking tight end in the conference, playing with loads of confidence.
They may not miss him tonight, but they certainly would miss him on an extended basis. He gives the team a certain amount of toughness that they lack when he's out of the lineup. As you mentioned, a terrific blocker, and I think Clarence has turned into somewhat of a leader.
Yeah, I totally agree. One of the leaders in the team. And I think he's right on the cutting edge of becoming a Pro Bowl type tight end.
Got him.
In the end zone, almost a great catch by Johnson, but he could not hold on.
I mean, John Elway is flat on his back, and he realizes, you could tell right from the outset of that play that Vance Johnson's going to go to the corner, and it's got a chance to be a big one. I mean, he is there. The ball is just a little bit overthrown. What a great effort by Johnson as he almost hauls it in one-handed. But with the coverage, I mean, he knew right from the snap, John Elway did, that he had a chance for a big play. Now watch Elway's reaction as he knows the ball is overthrown. You don't get many chances like that, even in preseason, with the perfect coverage and the perfect play call.
3rd and 10 from the 15. Elway.
Got it again.
Tries it again. Touchdown, Mark Jackson.
I'll tell you, I like the call. Dan Reeves goes right back to it a little bit differently as they flood the zone. But Mark Jackson goes right to the flag. Elway is locked on him all the way. This ball is thrown perfectly, right on time. I must say, poor coverage by the Cowboys secondaries. The reaction time was not good, but Elway with a terrific throw, and he knows this one's on the button.
Bit of a week of ups and downs for Mark Jackson at the high point. David Treadwell on for the conversion. It is up and through. 7:18 to go in the third quarter. Elway and Mark Jackson give Denver the lead. Going to see a lot during the regular season. John Elway to Mark Jackson gives the Broncos the lead. Raphael Septien will kick off. Now you can definitely hear some boos. Deep for the Cowboys are Scott Ankrum and Cornell Burbage. Once again, the ball blows off the tee. What a week for Mark Jackson. Unhappy, not sure, a little confused. Decides to walk out of camp. Comes back after being fined $2,000. Pat Bowlen intervened. And didn't start tonight, but certainly has made his presence felt. Can't be around Mark and not like him.
Not bad for a former 6th-round pick, huh?
Not bad at all. That in itself was one of the problems. We can talk about that in a minute as Septien kicks it to the 2 where Burbage takes it there. He's hit by Tyrone Braxton at the 23. Braxton, you see him all over the place. Special teams. He's got a nose for the ball. Whether or not he starts when Mark Haynes returns, that's up in the air, but he's certainly making his presence felt. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, has a nose for the ball. He's around the ball. He makes things happen.
And he's made a tough switch. He's gone from free safety to the corner, which may be the toughest position change in the defensive secondary.
Randy Robbins is in the game for the first time for Denver. Walsh hands it off to Clack. He almost loses it. He's around the wide side. He's got some room. Across the 40 all the way to the 45 before Wyman Henderson makes the tackle. It's a 20-yard pickup as Clack gets up limping.
You know something good's going to happen if you're an offensive back and you see 2 big offensive linemen out in front of you. As you can see, Newton and Kerr. I mean, they don't hit anybody until they're 6 yards downfield. Good job blocking up front. Clack does have great speed. It's a good tackle by Henderson. He wraps him up, actually turns his right ankle at the end of the play.
Second team defense, Freddie Gilbert, Kevin Brooks, Warren Powers up front, Fletcher, Lucas, Munford, and Curtis, the linebackers. Here's Clack again. Not much room, and Tim Lucas, with help from Robbins, will throw him for a loss back at the 39. It'll be 2nd and 12.
I tell you who made that play. Freddie Gilbert. Got good penetration. Stood up the offensive lineman. Nowhere to go.
Freddie Gilbert, a veteran, certainly on the bubble.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are fighting for their professional football lives. A lot of guys in the game right now that want to give a good performance so that they get another opportunity next Saturday night to show what they can do again.
Well, speaking of that, we haven't seen Jim Ryan tonight. Walsh goes over the middle. It's complete to Broderick Sargent. He's out to the 45. Munford makes the tackle. 6-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd and about 6.
Play they used a lot in Miami. Just a halfback option.
Broderick Sargent, for the moment, the starter there at fullback, played 2 years with the Cardinals very sparingly and was signed as a free agent last offseason by the Cowboys. And so far, he's beating out the 2nd-round pick Darrell Johnston and the veteran Timmy Newsom, who's been slowed by injuries. We have not seen Newsom tonight. Todd Fowler, former USFLer, apparently no longer in the picture. Wolf gets it off. Incomplete. Kip Corrington had it in his hand and ran into Atwater, and it looked like Atwater knocked it out.
I hope we can see a great stunt on the left-hand side. You see Warren Powers completely clean. He was, as you see in the deflection, because Alfonso Carricker grabbed the offensive tackle and guard as they ran a stunt, grabbed both of them, and Powers came in completely untouched.
Saxon will punt, and Bell is deep. A nice punt from Saxon. Bell will let it bounce wisely, and it's into the end zone. 5:22 to go in the third
Good
quarter.
up front pressure.
Carricker is having his first big night as a Bronco.
But they need him to have one. I mean, they went out and spent a great deal of money to get him. First-round draft choice in 1984. The Packers could be a good player for the Broncos.
1st and 10 from the 20. Alexander and Bobby Humphrey. This is Humphrey. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Willie Broten made the stop. Broten playing for the injured Mark Whalen, who's out for the year after knee surgery this week. Denver gets their first look at their #1 pick in the supplemental draft. Bobby Humphrey, 6'1", 205 pounds, out of Alabama, coming off a broken foot when healthy. Really a sensational, exciting broken field runner. There's the number on Elway tonight. With time, Elway peruses the field, and it's incomplete. Michael Young, the intended receiver, Everson Walls, was on the coverage.
That's a case where you're just overmatched. You send out 2 wide receivers and a tight end. The Cowboys rush 4 players. You've got 3 receivers trying to get open with 7 defenders. And obviously the numbers are not in your favor.
Think Humphrey's nervous?
I imagine he is. First chance to play in the National Football League. And he really hasn't had much of an opportunity to pick up the playbook.
3rd and 9. Elway's in the shotgun. Will Hyde is next to him. Here comes the rush. Colbert's got Elway wrapped up, and then Too-Tall finishes up John back at the 8-yard line. They were going to call that in the grasp once Tolbert had him wrapped up.
And the pass protection simply breaks down in this case. With 4 defensive linemen, the Cowboys exert a lot of pressure on Elway before he has a chance to really look downfield. You can see Tolbert, who twice has gotten to Elway, and Too-Tall for the finishing touches. You can see the Cowboys did a good job. Too-Tall with the loop inside, Tolbert to the outside.
That was in the grasp as Tolbert began to spin him around.
We're talking about a team that really didn't have much pressure on the quarterback last year at all. Something that Jimmy Johnson wanted to work on in the preseason.
Moran from his end zone. High kick, not very deep. Kelvin Martin runs up and calls for and makes the fair catch at the Dallas 45. 4:14 left in the third. Dallas will have it in Denver territory there defensively for Denver.
Well, you try to keep enough first and second team players in that your defense doesn't completely dissolve. You don't want to put third team guys out there. More than likely, they don't have enough bodies to field an entire third team unit.
1st and 10 from the Denver 45. Walsh will throw. Quick pass to Scott Ankrum is incomplete. Wyman Henderson gave Ankrum a shot. You see that graphic a minute ago? Walsh 23-1 at Miami. Do you know his only loss?
Yes, I do. Notre Dame, South Bend.
Controversial loss. Boy, I mean, the way he came back against Michigan, a couple of times against Florida State.
Studying to be a financial planner in the offseason, believe it or not.
He's got a good start with, I think, a $4 million deal.
Hey, if I were him, I'd be good friends with Aikman. I'd plan his deal, too.
Plan Aikman's deal. Of course,
money to invest.
Aikman in that high rent district, around $12 million. As Clack has it, Robbins hits Clack, and down goes Darrell at the 44. Maybe a pickup of a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9.
That's a great job by Randy Robbins. Watch him not only make the tackle, but he fights off Crawford Kerr at about 280 pounds. Big guard that gets out in front. Now here comes Kerr. Robbins' job is to turn the play back in. He not only knocks Kerr off, but he's back in and actually makes the tackle on Clack. You can see the guys cheering on the sidelines. You won't see a better play by a strong safety.
That's a heck of a play by Randy Robbins, who you figure has to figure somewhere in that defensive backfield, especially if they keep 8. From the shotgun. Walsh to Ankrum, incomplete. He was out of bounds. So Dallas faced with a 4th and 9 from the Denver 44.
That's a great throw by Steve Walsh. Unfortunately for him, Ankrum ruled out of bounds, but Atwater was after him. Randy Robbins was coming from the weak side. He rolls to his left and gets off a pretty accurate throw.
So Dallas picking up 1 yard in 3 plays, will elect to punt. Okay, another player we haven't seen tonight is Jeremiah Castile.
No, we haven't.
I don't know how much you can read into things at this point that we have or haven't seen players.
I think you can read a lot into it.
I think in his case, you're probably right. Sammy Winder given the night off. His spot is secure. That punt by Saxon is into the end zone. So the Broncos, after that 44-yard punt, clinging for that touchdown lead. And Elway, 1st and 10 from the 20. Humphrey and Alexander behind Elway. Here's Bobby Humphrey. Makes a cut inside, makes a nice run, fumbles the football. It looks like Dallas has it. And they do at the Denver 27. Looks like Ray Horton came up with the football, the free safety.
You know, he really makes his first positive play here. Good cut to the inside. Now you've got to put the ball away. You can see Humphrey, it's stripped
by Burton.
Right there. Burton does a good job. Linebacker coming across. That's going to happen, but it's just tough to happen in your first game, even if you are a #1 draft choice.
So Dallas, after taking over a minute ago in the Denver 45, now has better field position. They've got it on the Denver 28.
See, Dan Reeves is a guy that most head coaches don't like to see fumbling. None of them do, but Dan's a guy that rarely fumbled in his career.
Walsh dumped it off for Clack, but it was incomplete. Yeah, Reeves is a big proponent on...
Well, he figures in this case, if I can hold the ball, you can hold the ball. It's much the same as Forrest Gregg, the former head coach at Green Bay, about holding an offensive lineman. You really are more critical of the position that you happen to play in the league. In this case, Reeves, a running back for many years with this very same organization.
Also, a lot of guys who excelled at certain positions have a hard time relating to people who may not have that same talent. 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 28. You saw Babe Laufenberg signaling the plays into Steve Walsh. Ankrum is in motion. Walsh goes over the middle and it's batted down. Looked like Sean Knight got a hand on it. Knight, 6'6", 290 pounds from BYU, came in the Ted Gregory deal about a year ago.
Those big guys don't get to touch the football many times. When they do, they tend to get a bit excited. You'll see the bottom of your screen. Good job by Knight, actually getting blocked pretty well. Sticks that big paw up in the air, a la Too Tall Jones. And if you're going to get blocked, you might as well knock the pass down.
Is Ted Gregory now out of football, I believe?
Yes.
You said that convincingly.
Well, he was out after the Saints let him go. He may be back in somewhere.
3rd and 10. Walsh has got Ankrum. He's inside the 20 to the 17. Atwater makes the stop. That should be enough for a first down.
You know, here's a guy that's a 12th round draft choice. Played quarterback at TCU, played running back, played defensive back. Scott Ankrum, Jimmy Johnson feels, just might make this football team. They used to keep 4 different pair of shoulder pads. As you can see, Ankrum coming across 4 different pair of shoulder pads for him at TCU. He's thrown a 99-yard touchdown pass in his career. He's returned punts. He's played defensive back. I mean, he truly is a guy that can do everything, at least a little bit of everything.
Good night last week against the Raiders. A couple of catches, forced a fumble, had a couple of tackles on special teams. Here's Clack, and Richard McCullough has Clack thrown for a loss. Richard McCullough, the 4th round pick from Clemson. Powers has gotten most of the ink, but McCullough has done his share.
Well, Clack, with the delay that you've seen Dorsett run so many times in a white jersey, just never has a chance. You can see Stepnewski missing a block, and Richard McCullough, 4th round draft choice, trying to make his bid to stay on the team.
We'll say hi to Tony Dorsett, Billy Bryan, and Randy Thornton, all rehabilitating from knee injury, watching tonight. 2nd and 15. Walsh, the quick pass, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Irvin. I think Walsh may have thrown that one away.
Well, they've teamed up before, Walsh and Irvin. Irvin is an energetic guy, not a blazer, but a guy that catches the ball. Sporadically in training camp. He's made some good catches. He's dropped some. He got penalized last year for spiking the football after a touchdown against Cleveland. The only, I guess the point that we should mention, he spiked it after a teammate scored. He's just an enthusiastic young guy.
He's the Vance Johnson of the Cowboys. He gives them some personality. 3rd and 15. Walsh stepping up closer to his center, trying to give him some information. Steps up. Oh, he's caught Newsome for a first down inside the 10. Carrington ran him out. Timmy Newsome, I believe, in his first play of the night.
Well, I'll tell you, it was self-defense for Newsome. It was either catch this or have a very sore stomach. This is a terrific throw made before Newsome gets into his break. He run the out pattern. Now watching the ball, he turns around. Actually, the ball was, Walsh took a little bit off the pass, which allowed Newsome to adjust to the throw. Timmy Newsome is a guy that has been basically a blocking back, good receiver out of the backfield, being pressed for a spot on the roster.
Been bothered by hamstring problems the past couple of years. 10-year veteran. 1st and goal for Steve Walsh. Here's Darrell Johnston. Curtis has him, but Johnston's inside the 5 to the 4. He got a couple. Johnston, the 2nd-round draft pick out of Syracuse. 11 carries, 56 yards so far in the preseason.
Pretty good player. And one of the toughest guys, Jimmy Johnson says, on the team. Story has it that Johnston's mother had to hide all of the kitchen chairs when Johnston was 5 years old because he had a tendency to pick them up and throw them. I'm not sure what to make of that.
I don't know what to say to that.
I'd tell him to put him down, but you would think at 5 years of age you might have your way.
2nd and goal. And that one broken down right away. Irvin and Alexander, the wide receivers. Irvin, bottom of your screen, just off the screen. Alexander's at top of your screen. Mike Harden on the blitz. Walsh lost the football. Harden is saying that it's Denver's ball, but they'll leave it with Dallas back at the 15.
Jerry Seaman ruled it down. Walsh knows before the snap that the Broncos are coming. He tried to audibilize with the hands, and you'll see Harden right up the middle. Good job by Sean Knight as he drags the offensive center to the side.
That's a fumble.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I'm not sure if we'll look at it or not. You'll see Harden come untouched. Walsh, I tell you what they've called it. It's in the grass. The same rule as you would have a defensive lineman, which is subjective and will have no replay.
Debatable call. 3rd and goal from the 15. Walsh has time. Throws into the end zone. Touchdown. Cornell Burbage.
I'll tell you what. This is some kind of throw, folks. Darren Carrington has excellent coverage on Cornell Burbage, and Walsh will put this thing right into your lap at home. I mean, you couldn't have walked up and handed it to him. Burbage simply with the streak route inside. Carrington has no help from a free safety who was out in that particular coverage. And Burbage, who was the fastest, I mentioned, fastest wide receiver for the Cowboys, comes away with an easy touchdown catch.
Roger Ruzek is a conversion away from tying this one up.
I mean, coaches look at it.
Turned into a touchdown. And we have a tie game with 42 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, which is what he appears to be doing and doesn't get the start.
Yeah, I don't know. Walsh, I'm sure, is comfortable with Jimmy Johnson, but he's not a guy that I can see sitting on the bench too long.
This one's pretty deep into the end zone, and Humphrey will down it there.
Steve Walsh and Troy Aikman on the same sideline after this year.
I think you're right. 36 seconds to go in the quarter. Here comes the rush. Jeffcoat is picked up. He throws to Alexander. Jeff has it at the 23. Pickup of 3. Kent Norton made the stop.
Elway's had to move around a little bit. Good pass rush upfield as Wydell takes the defensive end, Jeffcoat, past John. Nobody open downfield, just get it out to a safety valve.
Wydell, Smith, Ruther, Harry, and Manure. The fourth quarter. He's got Melvin Bratton behind him. With time. Throws it out to Watson. Steve makes the catch. Beats one man. Beats two men. Watson down the sidelines. Out near midfield. A 26-yard gain and a first down. Watson's shining moment so far.
Well, you get a sense that the crowd is absolutely thrilled with this catch. I mean, I see people standing up cheering on the west side. Watson goes down, does a good job. Everson Walls tries for the interception. And here's Steve Watson. How many times have you seen number 81 in the last decade make a big play?
That's the most emotion we've had all night, Dave. A semi-standing ovation, as you pointed out, because people all over Colorado want Steve Watson to succeed. Here's the pitch to Humphrey. He's got a hole. Shoots through it. He's got a first down inside the 40 to the 38. Ken Norton made the stop. 12-yard gain for Humphrey, his best run of the night, and the first down.
Vintage Alabama. Here we come with the power toss. A lot of folks out in front. Just let number 41 pick the hole he likes. Good explosion through the hole as Bobby Humphrey picks up those feet. I'm not sure he looks right at number 41. I'm trying to think of great backs. I know Rob Lyle was a good back here, but how many great backs on other teams can you think of that wore number 41?
I'll tell you, Rob may be watching on the satellite back in Ohio.
Rob knows I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about great backs on other teams.
There's Humphrey, a big hole. Spinning inside the 30, down to the 26. Another first down, another pickup of 12. Well, your point is right. You think of 32 and 33.
I mean, 24.
That's right.
But a 41.
Well, he may make 41 into something.
I'll tell you this. He's looked good the last two plays.
Yeah, it's exciting to think that we're getting a little glimpse of the 90s here.
Well, you can see how instinctive he is. I mean, when he picks where he wants to go, he's got great explosion.
And all of a sudden, the crowd is into it. You got Bratton and Humphrey, maybe the 90s backfield behind Elway right now. Here's Humphrey again. Willie Broughton hit him, and he'll go down at about the 25, give him one. But you can tell, even the crowd, Dave, kind of up and into it. A couple of runs by Humphrey, Melvin Bratton in there. You can start to envision what it might be like.
Bratton very good at coming out of the backfield, played for the Dallas Cowboys head coach, Jimmy Johnson. Said that he was a little bit miffed that the Cowboys didn't take him this year. Didn't think that Jimmy Johnson felt like he was completely healthy and maybe would never play again.
Humphrey, 6 carries for 37 yards. We're in the fourth quarter. We're tied at 14. This drive started on the 20. Elway. Got Orson Mobley. Maybe a gain of only a yard. Burton and Walls stop him at the 23. It'll be 3rd and 8.
I just thought of the best 41 I can think of. How about a guy back in the mid to late 60s that was forced into playing quarterback when he really was a halfback?
I'll give you the answer. Tom Matty.
That may be the best 41 I can come up with.
Who can forget? Those of us our age, but Matty had the plays on the wrist, on his wristband. Unitas was hurt. Morrill was hurt. There's Clarence Kay. He says he'll be ready by the opener. Clarence fell right in front of us one day in camp about 10 days ago, separated his shoulder. 3rd and 8. 4 wide receivers set. Elway steps up. He bounced into Wydell, and down he goes. Tough break. Sounds a little frustrated.
He's frustrated because had he been able to break contain there, he had everybody in a white jersey chasing the receivers. Maybe could have scored. Just couldn't get out of the way, or actually the lineman couldn't get out of his way. It's like running through the forest at 100 miles per hour. You're making dips and sometimes you run into the tree.
Wydell's a rookie too. Is it important that he knows veteran offensive lineman. He knows where they're going to be, what they're going to do.
Yeah, your offensive lineman really can't worry about when a quarterback does that.
It is smattering of boos again as Septian comes on for the field goal. It'll be a long one. About a 46-yarder on its way, and it is wide left. Now the boos a little more pronounced as Septian misses from 46. 10:40 to go in this fourth quarter. We're still deadlocked. That's the secondary. Bruce Klosterman in for the first time. Number 97. He's in with Curtis, Michael Brooks, and Jim Ryan. McCullough, Knight, and Gilbert up front. That's the defense. Walsh on 1st and 10. He's got Alexander. He's caught from behind by Brooks, but Alexander is out close to a first down at the Dallas 39. Steve Walsh, very cool customer.
And he looks like he's still playing in Miami. He gets under the center as Kozar used to do, and he's talking to the receivers. He's changing plays. I mean, this to me looks like you could put the white helmets on them and orange jerseys and go down south a bit. You'd have the same team.
Well, he looks over in the sidelines and sees Jimmy Johnson. Quite a program down there.
Done a good job.
Controversial at times. They had some problems off the field, but
they've produced some pretty good quarterbacks.
That they have.
I mentioned Bernie Kosar.
Jim Kelly.
Testaverde is still yet to prove his worth in this league, but a first-round draft pick.
That's not bad for the 80s right there.
And this guy.
And this guy was as successful as any of them. Second down and 1. Ball between the 38 and the 39. Hand off to Clack. He didn't get there. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Richard McCullough wrapped him up from behind. He got help from Sean Knight. This up front trio, McCullough, Knight, and Gilbert, making some tackles.
So the key to any short yardage situation is penetration defensively. You can see Corrington takes on the lead block, and you've got 4 blue helmets. Actually 5.
Now it's 3rd and 1. As you pointed out, that was a great play to run some sort of play-action pass. Now you got to get the first down. 3rd and a long 1. Clack, the running back behind Wall. Clack's got it, and he's got the first down. Out to the 43. Brooks and Jim Ryan, along with Atwater, making the stop, but a first down for Dallas. 9-10 and counting here in the fourth quarter. We're tied at 14. Dallas took the lead in the second quarter. Denver tied it up. Broncos took the lead in the third quarter, and Dallas tied it up. What do you think of the Jim McMahon deal while we're looking at former Charger quarterback Dave Laufenberg there?
I think if he can stay healthy, he'll certainly be a bonus to San Diego. McMahon has missed almost half of the games in his last 4 years.
First down, play action, Walsh. He's got Jennings. He's got a first down. Corrington makes the tackle, but Jennings is into Bronco territory at the 44. Keith Jennings, 5th round pick from Clemson.
Basically the same play that the Broncos run. It's a fake toss, and you count on the toss in this case, having that linebacker slide inside. In this case, Michael Brooks. Jennings is able to slip out. It's a real easy, safe throw. Picks up a first down.
Cowboys have 4 tight ends in the roster, all of them trying to replace Doug Cosby, who played it so well for a decade. None of them right now are anywhere near that caliber. Less than 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. First and 10. Darryl Clack has a big hole. Tripped up by Knight. He's down to the 36. Pickup of 7. It'll be second down and 3.
Good job by the Cowboys up front. Able to get a push on the Denver defense. Clack has a big hole to run through. You don't see anybody near him until he gets 4, 5, 6 yards down the field and tripped up.
Second down and 3 from the 36. Martin and from the wide receivers. That's Anchorman in motion. There's Timmy Newsome with the ball. Newsome's got a first down. Atwater makes the stop on Newsome at the 33. So Newsome, the 10-year veteran, getting a little work here late in the second half.
You see Jim Ryan try to bounce to the inside and make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Clack actually misses the block, but Ryan's unable to come up with the tackle. And a good job by Steve Atwater coming up from the free safety position. Realizing that they've run the football effectively this drive, Steve Walsh is used to late drives. Recall last year in Michigan, he's down 30-17 with 6 minutes to go, and nothing to it. They win the game in and out with 30-30. So this guy is he's used to late heroics.
1st and 10. Walsh over the middle, incomplete. Klosterman got a hand on it. Jennings was the intended receiver.
Good depth of drop by Klosterman.
Klosterman, of course, was injured in camp, missed a couple of weeks.
See, Klosterman's back and able to tip the ball, but the reason the ball was short was the pressure up front. Walsh couldn't step up and when he throw the ball, had to throw it actually going backwards.
Walsh and Aikman fighting for the job. Both have looked good tonight. Both have engineered a touchdown drive. 2nd down and 10. Walsh looking for Alexander, incomplete. Darren Carrington, the rookie first-round pick from Northern Arizona. They're step for step with Alexander.
You may say, well, this was not a good throw. The receiver's covered. But sometimes, especially when you're in the plus yardage, you take a shot, especially with the big receiver. Good coverage by Carrington, step for step. But Alexander at 6'4", he's made tough catches before. That time Carrington, who's a big corner himself, able to deflect the football.
Charlie Waters has said Carrington has starting potential. 6'1", 190 pounds. He's fast, intelligent. 3rd and 10. Walsh steps up, fires, complete to Alexander. Took a heck of a hit from Mike Harden and then spiked it. And there's the flag. That'll cost Ray Alexander 15 yards. As he took a great hit and spiked it right in Harden's face. And you just can't do that anymore.
Well, it's okay to be exuberant, and I think Ray Alexander has a lot to prove coming into this game because the Broncos cut him some 4 years ago. But you're right, you cannot lose control of your emotions at a critical juncture of the game. We're talking about 6 minutes.
Delay of game, spiking the ball, number 87 offense. They still made the line to gain. First down.
So it is a first down, but they'll move it back to the 21-yard line.
But it takes nothing away from the catch. Walsh is a little bit high with his throw. Alexander's hung out. You can see Harden, who's made a living when able to stay in the middle of the field of doing that. Alexander does have good hands.
1st and 10. The ball is on the 21. Walsh, very comfortable. The handoff to Clack, outside. Clack with room, inside the 15, down to the 10. Corrington and Carrington, sounding much like a law firm, combined to make the tackle.
I tell you, Clack has had some good work tonight. You can just see by the way he handles himself and runs the football that he's got ability to play in this league.
It's a first down, Dave. Pickup of 11.
Bounces outside. Good block on Atwater. And Darryl Clack is a guy that wants to figure into the plans of the Cowboys this year.
You can see where the ball is. The Cowboys, I believe, can get a first down just inches from the goal line. Clack, 11 carries, 45 yards. Cowboys looking to take the lead. Here's Newsome. He's hit by Lucas at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Tim Lucas in his 3rd year.
See, in this case, you can't cut that play back. You've got an ISO. You've got no lead block from the back who's on the other side, and Newsome's got to head on up in there over the right tackle. No place to cut back to.
Ball just outside the 10. Complete to Newsome. Touchdown. Dallas takes the lead.
Well, again, Newsome has shown to be a good receiver over the years. You'll see him step up to block. He just slips through the line. A big collision with Corrington and nobody there. Broncos in a zone coverage, and Newsome just kind of slipped through and hooked up. Actually looked like he was surprised to get the ball and more surprised that nobody was around him.
People from Dallas telling us before the game that Newsome was in trouble, that he was injured, may not make it. He's having a big second half. Sure is. That's what 10-year veterans do. They know when they have to. They do something to stick around. Ruzek on for the conversion. Jackson the hold. And it is good. Four minutes and 6 seconds left. Dallas 21. Denver 14.
Drives against the Raiders. So he's a terrific looking young quarterback.
It's going to be hard to tell him to take a seat if indeed that's what they say. Especially when the man telling him was his college coach. Ruzek kicking off to Bell and Humphrey. This is Ken Bell at the goal line. He'll run it out. Across the 20, hitting down at the 22. Darryl Ford, number 96, made the stop on Bell, so 3:56 to go in the football game. John Elway remains in. It's obvious now that John will go the whole way tonight. Good practice right here. You're down by a touchdown, 3:56 to go.
Well, you can build a lot of confidence for the upcoming season, and this is a preseason game, but the Broncos would like to, in their memory bank, store the ability to score the tying touchdown with under 4 minutes to go and some 78 yards to engineer.
Humphrey and Bratton, the running backs. Bell at wide receiver with Jackson. Elway over the middle, complete to Orson Mobley. Out at the 40. An 18-yard pickup and a first down.
Because of the pass protection in this case, John has enough time to set and wait for Mobley to open up. He's going to go down and widen to make sure Bates stays on the outside. Now he'll break underneath Bates, and there's enough time for Elway to spot him and deliver a good throw.
3:30 and counting, but the Broncos have all their timeouts left, so time should not be a factor. Elway with a flag down. Throws for Mobley again. He's got it at the Denver 40.
Use of the hands.
Yes.
Just about the same motion.
First and 20. Elway with time over the middle. Ken Bell. Fine catch at the Dallas 49 and a first down. Acrobatic grab by Ken Bell, the newest wide receiver.
I'll tell you what, nice catch by Ken Bell, but this thing gets there in a hurry. Kenny Bell moved from the receiver position outside, does a good job of avoiding contact, breaks inside. Tough to see, but this ball arrives suddenly. Bell does a nice job going up and hanging on.
2:44 and counting. Here's Bobby Humphrey. Not much room, and he'll be thrown back right at the line of scrimmage. Ken Tippins, number 97, was there to greet Humphrey. 2:28 and counting. They may not get another play off before the 2-minute warning.
Oh, you definitely want to. You want to get another play.
Do.
Make sure you hurry up and get something done, because you waste too much time if you don't.
You tell the Broncos came out of their huddle very quickly, and now the Cowboys want a timeout on 2nd and 10. So Denver will take that with 2-6. Watson, Jackson, Johnson, and Young, the wide receivers. Will Height, the running back. 2nd and 10. Elway steps up. Here comes the rush. John is finally down at his own 47. Jeff Roth, number 91, finally made the hit, brought their third choice in the 5th round.
Well, this is the coverage sack. Good enough pass protection for John to find somebody. You'll go back and you won't see silver helmets for quite some time. Nobody open down the field. John's trying to buy some time and run around and make something happen, but good job of the Cowboys staying in their lanes and coming up with a big play.
74,076 the attendance tonight. 1,890 no-shows. We're at the 2-minute warning. Dallas up by 7. Young, Johnson, Jackson, and Watson, the wide receivers. From the shotgun, with time. Intercepted by Everson Walls. Walls is back towards midfield, and he runs out of bounds. Charlie Waters with a headset on, Dave, tried to knock the ball out of Walls' hands as he was coming out of bounds in a playful gesture, but that may do it with 1:49 to go. John was looking for Mark Jackson. There was a collision. The ball was deflected, and Walls came up with it.
But he's looking down the middle of the field, but he waits too long. And I'm not sure Mark Jackson ever was open. Too much in there as Jackson with the collision, and you'll see Tolbert take Jackson's helmet off. I don't know why I'm chuckling as the receiver goes down, but Everson Walls.
Charlie Waters.
Charlie going to reach in. Cowboys are going to be undefeated, it looks like, in preseason play, and that's important for a young team that's trying to overcome a 3-13 season and a new coaching change.
Darryl Clack takes into Denver territory at the 49. The Broncos have 2 timeouts left. It'll come
sooner than you like.
Yeah. Here's Clack, nowhere to go, and Atwater comes up and throws him for a loss. Back at the Dallas 48. Broncos call timeout right away with the house right now as he has announced the party is on him tonight. 3rd and 11. The ball at the 47. Don't think the Cowboys will threaten and put it in the air. Here's Clack. Outside and down into Bronco territory at the 48. Broncos take their 3rd and final timeout. 1:26 left. So Denver will certainly
doesn't make anybody want to punt.
Well, doesn't make
Jackson's standing back there right now knowing that they've got a free shot at him.
Sure.
And unless they do something intentional, even if they rough him,
kick it again.
He's going to have to kick it again.
Yeah, I would think they've got to change that.
It would turn me into a 1-step punter.
Let's see if they come out. Andy Robbins on the outside. He blocked a few in his time. Saxon gets it off. Bell lets it bounce, and this one is, I think they've got it on about the 2-yard line. No, they're going to say touchback. Kenny Bell's heart now can come out of the Adams.
Well, they've got no timeouts.
They practice this in Greeley all the time. All the time.
What you want to do is work the sidelines, make sure you get something that somebody can catch and get out of bounds if at all possible.
Bell and Will height the backs. Elway with time on the sidelines. There it goes. He's got Michael Young wide open. He can get up and run. Let's see if he does a smart thing and get out of bounds. He does at the Dallas 28. Don't go away. 58 seconds left.
I'll tell you what, this throw is reminiscent of the throw that John Elway made last year when he hurt his arm throwing all the way across the field. This is a throw that
maybe only Elway makes.
I can't think of another quarterback that can pull this play off. Elway will roll to the left. Now, Michael Young has got about 15 seconds to figure out what he wants to do. He's coming across trying to get Elway a shot, and now does the right thing, breaks all the way across the field. And I'll tell you, I cannot think of another quarterback that could make this throw. Good job by Young of making sure he's got the football secured, getting up, getting to the sideline, and still 58 seconds to go.
And 28 yards away from tying the game. Elway, 6, lofts it up. Jackson, incomplete. They're saying he juggled it and it hit the ground. Incomplete. Hey, 2 plays and all of a sudden about 40,000 people wish they were back in the stadium.
I'll tell you this, Dallas brings everybody again, and when you blitz, you leave receivers one-on-one. Elway sees this immediately. Jackson breaks open from the line of scrimmage. The ball's got to be gone. Now Jackson, this looks like a catchable ball, although certainly a tough one. Jackson lays out. Does he catch the ball? It looks like he's got it right there. No, the ball definitely bounces out. Mark Jackson has made that catch before, almost comes up with a miraculous catch.
Wilhite did a fine job of picking up the blitz to give Elway the time to make that throw.
I'll tell you this, I bet they don't blitz again.
2nd and 10, 52 seconds left. Elway, plenty of time, throwing in the end zone, incomplete. Johnson was bumped before the ball got there, and he is complaining now to the official in the end zone.
Well, the defensive back has as much right to the football as the offensive receiver. By that time, Vance got tangled up with a couple of Cowboys.
46 seconds. It's 3rd and 10. You got to get the first down.
You'll see Vance Johnson with the post pattern. Bates, right there. You're never going to get that call, even at home.
They call that incidental contact. 3rd and 10. Watson in motion. Here's the handoff to Wilhite. Gerald with a hole, bust through. He's down to the 20, but there's no timeouts left, and it's 4th and 2.
Well, the key is now you can't worry about the clock. You've got to pick up the first down. I'm sure they've got 2 plays called in the huddle, and I would imagine you've got to have a running play quickly to get 2 yards.
Does he have it?
Well, the clock would be stopped while they measure. It stopped at 26 seconds. Now, John's got to get everybody in the line of scrimmage and call the play while the official marks the spot and checks to see if it's enough yardage for the first down.
Hey, Elway letting Mike Ruther have it about something right there.
He wants him on the line of scrimmage. The officials call timeout, so now they can get back in the huddle, but the clock will start immediately once they determine if it's a first down. So you need to call the play and get him up on the line.
This is pretty close. I think they've got it, but it's close. As you point out, Elway's got him in the huddle, ready to go. They want to be up to the line of scrimmage as soon as this measurement's over.
He's got it. So now,
first down.
As soon as the linesmen leave the field, he's got to get them up on the line and ready to snap the football.
There's a gambling call given it to Wilhite on 3rd and 10 with no timeouts left. The ball is on the 18.
Clock has started.
22 seconds and counting. Elway towards the sidelines to an open Vance Johnson, and it's incomplete. They're saying Vance was out of bounds. Elway not happy with the way that one turned out.
I tell you, Vance has got to choke that thing down.
14 seconds
make sure he stays in bounds. He just ran himself out of territory. John will try to get it outside, and you'll see Vance plenty of room to make the catch. The right foot, unless he drug it, never got down.
I think it was a good call.
Now 14 seconds to go. You've got enough time to take 2 shots at it. You cannot throw a pass in the territory and get tackled if the game is over. You've got to go to the end zone with this pass, or you've got to go to the sideline and you've got to get him out of bounds.
Elway for Jackson. In and out of the hands of Mark Jackson. And there's 9 seconds left.
Well, the Cowboys came again with the blitz, and when you do that, you leave guys one-on-one. And this is a ball that Mark Jackson catches 90% of the time.
I tell you, Elway's made a couple of pretty good throws the last couple of plays, and he's got nothing to show for it.
It's the same pattern that Jackson caught earlier for a touchdown. With the motion, you get 3 receivers on one side. And you'll see Jackson here. Let me say 95% of the time he makes that catch. And he knows it.
3rd and 10, 9 seconds left.
Same play.
If he scrambles around, it might be only time for one play. John looking into the end zone. Touchdown, Mark Jackson. With 1 second left, the Broncos are within a point of tying the football game. They may be getting to work on Jackson's contract tomorrow. Maybe tonight.
Well, you'll see Mark Jackson all the way down. It's the same play. He's got an option to go to the post or the flag. Goes to the flag. Elway buys some time with the scramble, and that's a good catch. And that's a guy that knows, finally, he's had a pass hung on to tonight.
That's what you call a major league 2-minute drill.
Well, a lot of thrills, I'll give you that.
Septien on for the conversion, and we are tied up with a second left in regulation. Don't go away. We're on our way to overtime. Barring something very bizarre. Mark Jackson.
Well, you see John Elway buy some time, and this is going to be the last play. Rolls to the right, sees Jackson break open, and let's give Jackson credit after dropping a big one. Comes back, I think, with a tougher catch. And that's what your money player has to do. This guy that you have to have supreme confidence in. You've got to know that there's one guy that will make a catch no matter where you throw the football.
Talk about a money player. That quarterback knows what he's doing.
he certainly doesn't appear to have only 7 plays under his belt in preseason.
Well, I'll tell you what, rolls to his right, clock rolling down, waits, sees Jackson and he's covered, and he finds a seam in there.
I'll tell you, the play of the drive, he rolls to the left on a design play and throws back about 75 yards to Michael Young.
7 plays, 80 yards in 1 minute and 14 seconds.
And no timeouts.
And no timeouts. Yeah, people on their way back into Mile High Stadium. This is very reminiscent of the crowd at the Forum for Laker games in L.A. Do
they have to pay again, or?
I don't know. They've caught themselves in exit. Broncos now look like they're going to go with the squib kick. Everybody's to the left-hand side of the football. There's Treadwell with the high bounce. Ball is loose and out of bounds. Still 1 second showing on the clock. Don't go away. We've only been here 3.5 hours. We've got time for plenty more. Post Office Box 5012, Denver, Colorado 80217. That's Monday nights all through the season at 6:30 right here. First score wins. Play 15 minutes. If there is no winner, it ends in a tie. Treadwell or Septien may get a chance to try and win this game. Septien missed a 46-yarder in the 3rd quarter. Okay, many of the crowd they filed back in. Elway tonight 21 of 41 for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And I think it's fair to say he has certainly gotten better as the night has gone on.
No question about it. You would expect that because, again, he hadn't seen much playing time in the preseason, and he hadn't been able to work with the first-team offense.
You're just joining us. John Elway drove the Broncos 80 yards in 7 plays. Hit Mark Jackson with way aggressive. Ruzek to kick. Good kickoff. Diving Bell. 1 yard deep, and he'll bring it out. Bell did not get back to the 20. Denver will have it on about their 8. Kelly, the tight end. Bell and Johnson, the wide receivers. Alexander and Humphrey are the line. Jones, a very hands-on owner here in his first year. Very controversial owner franchise, and that has been on national television a number of times this preseason. And he has made a number of controversial statements. Time would not allow us to delve into all of them. Look at him. He's like a coach out there. First and 10 from the 18. We are in overtime, tied at 21. On a delay, this is Humphrey. Bobby with a big hole. Uses his blocking well across the 30 to the 33, where Al Britton makes the stop, but a 15-yard pickup and a first down.
Now George Hinshaw now is telling Dan, see, I told you, they've run this play many times tonight, and they run it for backs that have good vision. Good block by Alexander. He leads the way. You see wide receivers, Vance Johnson, just getting in the way of Everson Walls. And Humphrey has really been impressive after a rather slow start.
First and 10 for Denver. The ball on the Bronco 34. The pitch to Humphrey. Cuts it inside. Big boom. Big hole. Humphrey out to the Denver 47. A 13-yard pickup and another Denver first down. 2 carries, 30 yards for Bobby Humphrey.
Well, the foot looks pretty good to me. Humphrey with the toss. Makes a nice cut. he just kind of glides.
I think I may want to amend what I said about Humphrey not making an impact until well into the season.
He's compared favorably with Marcus Allen, not a guy with blazing speed, good speed, but not sprinter speed, but he just does what he has to do, an excellent pass receiver and a good runner, too.
Alexander to midfield. Broncos keeping it on the ground the first 3 plays of this overtime period. Humphrey tonight, 9 carries day for 66 yards.
And now the Broncos in a position at midfield to really dictate the Cowboys how the game's going to go.
All I know is there's going to be a lot of things said after this game. One of them is get Bobby Humphrey in there right away, right now. Because it's obvious that the foot looks okay, and he's got some instinct and ability.
He had that.
Second down and 8. Ball just on the Broncos side of midfield. Elway, incomplete, looking for Vance Johnson. Walls was there, and it's 3rd and 8. This is fun. Getting an extra period. Elway's getting a workout.
See, 3rd and 8, even if the Broncos are not successful now, they've accomplished one of their goals. Obviously, to win the game would be the major goal, but they've moved the football from the 18-yard line. They've moved it to midfield. They've gained field advantage. And if they punt the football and Mike Horan can down it somewhere inside the 20-yard line, they've really accomplished the first goal.
Watson in motion. Elway. In and out of the hands of Mark Jackson at the Dallas 42. Good hit by Manny Hendricks, number 45. So your point very well taken. If Horan can kick it out, Denver can get it back in much better field position.
Well, this ball just beats Mark Jackson. I mean, it hits him right in the numbers. And Jackson, I don't think, had enough time to prepare himself. He's had a tough time tonight catching the ball. Made a great catch, of course, to tie the football game up. John has been very, very sharp and quite accurate.
2 touchdown catches for Jackson tonight. But he's had problems with a few. Horan. He's going to do it. They've got it down to the 2-yard line. Ken Bell hustles down, and Dave Logan prophetic as ever. They get it to midfield, a 49-yard punt. You could not diagram what the Broncos have done in this overtime period any better. They have totally gotten the field position. And you know what they're thinking now. They want 3 and out.
And I tell you, nobody likes to be the guy calling the plays when you're on your own 2-yard line.
And a lot of first-team defensive people back in there. Cragen, Townsend, Carricker, Brooks, Fletcher, Curtis, and Munford. Kip Corrington, Atwater, Carrington in the defensive backfield. Clack barely gets it over the goal line. Boy, and Dallas got big problems now because after Munford makes the stop, the ball is just outside the goal line.
Well, they're going to have big problems running the football because Broncos are sending people inside, playing the gaps. You can see a good job by Andre Townsend standing up the offensive guard. Mark Munford is there for almost for safety. You're going to have to play action pass. You're going to have to get somebody open on the outside, a safe throw, but I don't think you can punch it out of there running the football.
Crowd making a lot of noise. 2nd and 10, the ball just outside the 1-yard line. Walsh from his end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Anthony Jones. Jones didn't turn around looking for the ball. Jones, the 4th string tight end. It's 3rd and 10. Unless they pick up something here, Denver's going to have sensational field position.
What you got to be aware of now defensively, the Cowboys taking a shot at the whole ball of works. 3rd and 10, Jimmy Johnson, David Shula. You got a young quarterback, not much time. You got to make sure if you're a corner that you don't get somebody behind you on a fly pattern.
Both teams, as you can see, have had a lot of success in the overtime period. 11:47 left in the game. 3rd and 10 from the shotgun. Walsh nearly tackled in the end zone, complete to Newsome. Out to the 25 before Harden and Atwater make the stop. Steve Walsh, are you sure he's a rookie?
Well, we've had a little bit of everything, and this is just a great performance by Walsh.
Look at this.
I mean, that's truly a great effort. As I believe it was Dennis Smith got there just a little bit late. Newsom is open for the big game.
I think it was Randy Robbins.
Was it Robbins?
First and 10, a 25-yard gain, as Walsh has some field position and some breathing room. Play action. Here comes Townsend. Walsh beats him, and he hits Jones for another first down. Out to the 42, where Kip Corrington makes the tackle. What more can Walsh do?
Well, the pendulum has now swung. Now the Cowboys can do what they'd like on offense at the 42-yard line. Walsh does a nifty job. Andre Townsend, unblocked, just kind of dips back inside to buy himself a couple more seconds, and here comes Anthony Jones in a crossing route.
Jones has not played all night, the fourth-string tight end. Really got a tough time making the team, but he made a big catch there. First and 10, a 16-yard pickup. Dallas from their own 42. Here's Darryl Clapp. Got some people in front of him. Turns the corner into Denver territory at the Bronco 47. And that looks to be another Dallas first down. 3 straight plays, 3 straight first downs for the Cowboys. They take it in 3 plays from their 1 to the Denver 46.
Cardinals sin that time. Strong side linebacker. You can't get hooked, and you can't get knocked off your feet because you are the force guy in certain defenses. You are the guy that must contain, and Michael Brooks really got hung up with a couple of Dallas blockers. Now, if you're Denver defensively, I think you got to start being very aggressive. You got to start trying to get after him, force him to make some bad throws.
Walsh on first and 10. Quick drop. And it's nearly intercepted. What will they call? Yes, an interception, a fumble, and a recovery by Wyman Henderson. Big play by Wyman Henderson, the Plan B free agent.
Steve Walsh just misreads the coverage, actually tries to lob it over Henderson. And no way this ball ever has a chance. Henderson in an underneath coverage. Kelvin Martin blanketed.
Now Kelvin Martin is standing down there with the referees saying, I want to look at a replay because I don't think he had the ball. And I'll tell you what, Dave, I don't know that he caught the ball.
Well, from that
replay, the play stands. We have an interception, down, fumble, first down.
Dave Logan right again. The play stands. Denver has it. First and 10 from their own 46.
Jimmy Johnson not happy with that particular decision, but I think a fair one.
Yeah, I think either way was fair because it's just so tough to tell. First down, Humphrey hit and down, thrown for a loss back at the 41. Danny Noonan was there with Ken Tippins, and loss of 5, 2nd and 15. 9:50 and counting in overtime. Each team has moved it well. Each team has had it once. Had a little bit of everything tonight.
Really had fans getting their money's worth. And sometimes, frankly, in preseason you don't. But tonight, been a good game.
2nd and 15. Johnson, Bell, Jackson, and Young, the receivers. Elway. Incomplete. He was looking for Bell. Hendricks was on the coverage, and it's 3rd and 15.
We just got word.
Elway rolls right with Sammy Winder in the game for the first time. Elway complete to who else? Mark Jackson for a first down at the Dallas 35. Jackson's 4th catch of the night. A big 3rd and 15 conversion.
You don't think the Broncos want to win this game?
Oh.
They brought Sammy Winder in the game, hasn't played one down the entire night. To seal block, you'll see Sammy on the left side seal blocking anybody that would pursue Elway. It's a great throw, and Mark Jackson again finding that spot, just throttling down and presenting the target.
1st and 10, the ball in the Dallas 36. Elway to throw. Looking for all of it, looking for Johnson. Balls was there with Vance. Is that dangerous to bring a guy in when he sat for almost 4 hours?
Well, it depends on what you ask him to do. That time they basically just wanted Sammy to make sure nobody got after him. This is a blitz situation, And John and Vance just a little bit off in their connection. When that free safety leaves the middle of the field as a receiver, you've got to take it almost directly up the hash mark, run away from the cornerback. And that time John expected that. Vance more or less was running across the field, which I think was the right thing to do.
Good shot of Elway, directly in traffic. 8.5 minutes to go in the overtime period. From the shotgun. Elway, got Bobby Humphrey. Tippins makes the tackle, but Humphrey down to the 27. He'll be about a foot shy of a first down.
That's something else Bobby Humphrey showed the ability to do at Alabama. Really a good pass receiver coming out of the backfield. Elway right on the money. Tough to miss that one. Going to have a lot of weapons this year on offense.
3rd and 1. Up right there. Broncos take out the wide receivers, bring in a couple of offensive linemen on 3rd and about a foot. Alexander and Humphrey behind Elway. This is Humphrey, and that's a first down. Inside the 25 to the 24. Tippins made the tackle. There's the man that apparently may get a chance to win the ball game. Raphael Septien. Of course, Bronco offense not thinking that way. They're looking for 6.
So now you're getting to the point where you want to be somewhat conservative, and yet you'd like to score a touchdown, but you want to make sure you don't make any mistakes. You've driven the ball to the 24-yard line.
1st and 10. Here's the pitch to Humphrey. Bobby trying to get outside. Not much room. Al face mask. Knocked him out. He may have a face mask. He's out at the 24. Elway. Mobley. He breaks a tackle. Inside the 20. Orson all the way down to the 16 before Jeffcoat can make the stop. His 3rd catch of the night. What a play. 1st and 19. You get 16 of it with Mobley.
Well, this is what we were talking about earlier. Receivers, once they catch the ball, are not just satisfied to do that and go down. Now, Mobley could have continued to run. He'd have been tackled for about an 8-yard gain, but he stops, makes a quick move, and he heads up almost for first down yardage.
2nd down and 2. As we look at Septien limbering up. 6:20 and counting to go in the overtime period.
You don't think they'll run the ball here, do you?
They are in the running formation. Alexander, the running back. He's got it. He's got the first down. He's down to the 12-yard line. Tippins again. He's had a good game. The rookie from Middle Tennessee State on the tackle, but Humphrey picks up another first down.
See, now I think you're in the territory where you don't throw the ball. You align yourself. You run the football to the side that you want to set up the field goal kicker. In this case, they probably want to run it to the right, get the ball on the right hash for Septien. I don't think you take any chances. And you may want to kick the ball before 4th down in case something happens with the snap or the hold.
5.5 minutes and counting. 1st and 10. The ball is on the 12. Alexander and Humphrey are the backs. Elway, busted play, and down he goes to the 14.
I think you want to think right now about kicking the field goal. I'm not sure you want to wait for something else, especially in a busted play situation. You take a chance of fumbling the ball, and I realize it's 2nd down, but I'm not sure how much longer you want to go. Maybe another safe play.
Right now, it would be a 31-yard attempt. Septien has missed tonight on his only attempt from 46 yards.
Usually in the I formation, you run some sort of lead. In this case, to Bobby Humphrey.
Denver is now over 500 yards total offense. Elway rolls to his right, throws to Alexander. Jeff is out of bounds at the 7. Pick up with 5. I think that's 7. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Probably sitting at home saying, why are they throwing the ball? But this is a very safe pass. You get Alexander, middle of your screen, right in the flat. If he's not open, John can throw the ball away. In this case, you gain 6-7 yards, and you allow yourself, I would think, to kick.
Well, they're not going to because there's no kicker on the field. Septien has got the helmet on. He's down at the Bronco 40-yard line.
The only way this is a bad decision is if they commit a turnover.
Third down and 5.
Then you second guess yourself.
Elway wants a timeout. It may be he that fixes it. Elway. Complete to Johnson.
Short of the first down.
Let's see where they mark me. Well, that's going to be close. That's going to be very close. But here comes Treadwell. So Septien was practicing, but it's Treadwell.
Cowboys were blitzing. Johnson breaks the route off, tries to get to that first down marker, but ran out of real estate, I think.
Well, let's see if they got a first down. If they get the first down, and go ahead and try and score the touchdown, eschew the field goal. And they are short by a foot. So it's 4th and a foot. And Boland down there, bottom of the screen, clapping his hands. You can see him at the 10-yard line. David Treadwell will attempt to win the ball game here. It will be a 19-yard field goal. This will be nothing more than an extra point. From 19 yards out, Kubiak will hold. The crowd will let you know. That's it. David Treadwell from 19 yards out has ended it with 4:41 left in overtime.